Our ancestors built the first city as a beacon of peace on Earth. And it almost was. Until one night, an unseen force plucked it from the very face of the Earth and placed it under unfamiliar stars. It was a bountiful world with no sign of civilization. A world we named Paragon. With no way to return home, we adapted. New governments were built from the seeds of our past, and with them grew new ways of life. But the vices of old still festered. Organized crime bled out from the shadows and took root, preying on the foundation of our new home. But this world had one more surprise in store. A mysterious element in the atmosphere that gave a fraction of the population superhuman abilities. Under the leadership of the city's first hero, the Age of Legends had begun. 300 years later, Paragon thrives under the protection of its champions. And yet, the shadows of the past still linger. When darkness rises, it will fall to the next generation of young heroes to defend the first city.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The First City, the show where no matter who wins the tournament, I win.
Okay.
Because it's fun and I love the story. That's what I meant by
If we
that.
lose, I'm fucking leaving the show.
No, you can't do that.
Let's
Why would you do
go.
that?
This could be a very
Oh,
abrupt
man.
ending.
Audience, your eyes do not deceive you. You do in fact see Team Pantheon and Team Steel Soldier here all in one episode because we have arrived at the fateful moment we have all been waiting for. Team Pantheon versus Team Steel Soldier. But we do have a few orders of business to get through. First, before we get into recap, I just want to put forward that this is going to be the first episode where we are using an updated combat mechanic, which you can find in the updated document at Panels and Powers, itch.io. That's the name of the website.
Yep.
Yeah, itch.io.
We got there.
/Ian Frost. And you can see this for yourself. Essentially what we're doing is that if someone happens to have multiple D12s in one power, instead of always having one attack and using all of your D12s for one attack, we can now delineate individual attacks by separating out those D12s. So it's sort of a Soulsborne thing. You can do like light attacks or heavy attacks. And as you get more D12s, you can disperse them even more. So let's say, for example, right now, I believe it's only BB who has a power with multiple D12s in it. And if you recall, BB's got the concussive shot, right? But since BB can pretty much call lethal or non-lethal all the time, and we've narratively sort of seen that training happen, with the new mechanics, we're essentially flavor texting that if BB does a heavy attack with both of her D12s, that's the bigger concussive blast, or she can do her bang, bang, 1d12 each. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Make sense, audience who can't respond? Tell me in the
think
comments
it's
if
a
it makes
little
sense.
different.
Feedback, always appreciated. So that, I think, is the only mechanical order of business. And now, with our wonderful guests, Team Steel Soldier, we are to begin. Previously, on the First City, we have been cutting back and forth between Team Pantheon and Team Steel Soldier over at the government-run Legends Institute, as both of them have ascended through the ranks and won their team tournaments at their own school. Now, we are charging toward the moment, 1 week leading up to the confrontation between the two of you. Last episode specifically, the nine-tailed fox, also known as Kit, made an appearance at Moonlight Academy's festival, and Tonatrus swooped in just in time to sort of get the media away from this moment and bring you in and have a discussion about this business with Chance Vane, a prominent businessman who was in the audience for the Legends tournament, who is known in the hero community to be suspected of ill deed, though never proven. He's sort of Tonatrus's secret arch nemesis, and trying to bring him down and has never been able to, because no one can prove that he's done anything. So this has been some concern for specifically our Legends team. So you guys talked it over a little bit. Tonatrus essentially told all of you that you need to try and take a step back from this, that they are handling it, but that he is concerned that Chance Vane is taking an interest. So you'll be in the loop, and you'll know if it seems like he's really taking a special interest in any of you and that you need to be concerned or maybe even get involved now that you have preliminary licenses. But for the time being, by his recommendation, you can kind of try to put it out of your mind. Now, we do have a week leading up to the team versus team situation. Now, before we start glossing through what you guys do during that week, I want to wind back to the moment, the day that Kit honestly kind of not escaped, you're not a prisoner anywhere, but like snuck out to go to Moonlight. I'd like to pan across the city that day to back over to your house. Steel Soldier is currently in the house with only you, Yankee Doodle. You woke up today, maybe did your morning routine, your workout, anything that you were going to do this day. Came back home to find Steel Soldier fuming because Kit is nowhere to be found. And he's like on the phone, and you hear him sort of muffled in another room. So how do you react to this? What do we find you? Where do we find you today?
So I just get done doing my quick morning 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups. Not sweating, but I drink a full bottle of water because it's really good to get your body hydrated first thing in the morning. And then I hear from the living room the muffles of Steel Soldier on the phone. And I I open the door. I go, well, howdy, sir. It's awful early. It's I don't know if Kit's awake yet, but sure we can do anything that you had on your agenda. No problem.
As you open the door, the last thing you hear him say is, "You will get back here right now. All right? We're going to have a little team meeting." And he nods and he hangs up.
Now, when you say team meeting, I assume that it's this team that you are in the dorm of, and that you meant that Kit is not here.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to scare you. Seems like Kit's made an appearance over at Moonlight Academy. Not sure about all the details. Luckily, Tonatrus was there to divert media attention.
Right.
But she was spotted, at least, coming in.
All right. Well, maybe they will think, and as I'm talking, I'm like setting up a pan for breakfast. I'm like sweeping the floor, just sort of like stress, busying my body. Yeah. So, well, maybe that is a good thing. And, Kit had an idea for something, and she thought that this was the right move. And maybe you want one egg or two eggs, sir.
He opens the fridge and he grabs a second one, and you see that he kind of moves in lockstep with you. And I think this might even be normal for you guys, for your relationship. This is maybe something that you do together if you like the idea. And he starts
All right.
sort of letting you lead, honestly, but he'll grab different ingredients. He'll maybe work on bacon while you're doing that, and you guys start
Mhm.
assembling together. And it seems to calm him down over the course of this. And he seems to be kind of drawing it out, really taking his time and cooking with sort of precision. And you see his muscles relax a little bit.
So, do you think we should make some for Kit, or do you think that she'll be a while before she's here?
He looks up at the clock, and you see that you guys have been at this for a while. And when you looked at, you've made like a very elaborate breakfast, almost like buffet
Haven't
style
eaten
across
any.
the counter.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, I should say we have enough." It's about this
All
time
right.
that you hear the keys sort of unlock, the door opens, and Kit, you arrive on scene, and this is what you see.
Uh, Kit shows up in her two-tail form, just itty bitty. She's like, "Oh, hi. Uh, wow, that's a lot of food that you got there.
Yep. Classic country breakfast for you. We got eggs, bacon, some chocolate gravy, and everything is fine and dandy. I
I've
suppose
never had chocolate gravy before. That's
it's delish. You should try some, Kit. I'm like looking back and forth between Kit and Seal Soldier.
Kit is oblivious to any of this tension.
If he's angry, he's not showing it so much anymore. It seems like he's gonna work up to it. He sits down and sort of starts asking you guys about your plans for the day, maybe for the week, just going over some very preliminary ideas for preparation in the coming week. And by the time you guys finish your breakfast, maybe have some coffee, everyone is more awake and well fed. Only then does he sigh. He stands up and he takes his plate and he begins to wash it. And then he puts it aside. And then he sits back down at the table, puts his elbows down on the table, and then interlaces his fingers. He goes, "All right. Kit, going to Moonlight was not a good idea. Do you understand why?"
Uh, no. I thought you said that we were all supposed to be promoting peace or whatever.
"We are, but this is a very delicate time. And when we make moves like that, we have to do it together. You marched up there, and the cameras caught you asking for Tonatress, interacting with Team Pantheon, and honestly, you're lucky. We're all lucky that Tonatress was there to mitigate the situation and keep the wolves outside the door, so to speak. This grudge that you have against them, you have to try to find a way to push through it."
But I wasn't there for them. I just, because, you and Uncle Tonishus had been fighting. I just wanted to make sure that you guys could.
We're not fighting, we had a bit of a misunderstanding, but we've talked it over. I imagine he's already filled you in. I mean, I don't have to imagine, he told me. It's cleared up now. The director is on it.
Like Asher or.
Like Asher, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised that I remembered her name. Uh,
There is a reality to the situation that I can wrap my head around, I think, as to why things went down the way that they did. And I'm trying to accept that, but I don't want to put that in your head right now. It's got nothing to do with what we have to do. Right now, I'm trying to help you, both of you, become the heroes that I know that you can be, but I cannot do it alone. You have to meet me halfway. You have to be accountable for each other. You have to make decisions together, even if you think it's inconsequential. If it involves Moonlight right now, it is consequential because they will take any nugget that you give them and spin it into something dark. Hell, if they heard the things that you say about Team Pantheon, about Moonlight, about the heroes behind closed doors, if they even smell a whiff of that and that comes out, it will try to undo everything that we are working toward right now. We cannot do that. We cannot have it. Do you understand me?
Sure.
All right. Are we finished up?
I think so. Not to butt in. I would just, as part of this open stream of communication, I would love to know sort of what the motive was, Kit. Sort of, why did you go? Why'd you go?
oh well, I really like Steel Soldier, but I noticed he doesn't have a lot of friends, so I was really worried that he was fighting with Uncle Tonitrus, and so I wanted to make sure that they were still friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He does laugh.
And so, right, right. And so I understand where you're coming from, and you thought maybe the best way to do that was to go to Tonitrus, even amidst everything going on. So no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I see the train of thought. Wouldn't have been on the same train. I didn't get tickets to that one, but but no, that's fine and dandy. Everything's good now, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they're still best friends.
They're still best friends.
I mean, he tried to tell us something about like how we should stay out of the Chance Vane investigations, and then told us a lot more information about Chance Vane. But that's fine. He's fine.
He's a talker. We know that one.
Famously a great talker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well then. Perhaps that makes it a good time to try to move forward with preparations, unless you have more to add, Kit.
Uh oh yeah. Uh I believe it was the fourth tale. Sorry. This morning has been kind of a blur. I kind of had to hitchhike on the bullet train to get there so quickly. It's fine. But yeah, fourth tale kind of threw down the gauntlet to Team Pantheon saying that we'd win. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm just glad we have that information. Did they take it well?
uh yeah, yeah, I think so.
Do you,
The baker child stuck out her hand to to shake mine. I didn't. Well, the eighth tail didn't.
mm,
Um oh geez, yeah. It's fine. They're fine.
okay. So yeah, I guess my concern right now is that they sort of don't know the real us. We didn't put quite our best foot forward. Maybe so maybe if we just overcorrect when we meet them later this week and we're really polite to them, I think that will be that will make up for this gauntlet throwing. So can we agree to that?
Ooh, the other tails are kind of not liking that, but I think they'll love you. So
Okay,
I can just be the villain and you can just be the hero, and I think we'll just balance out.
sure. Okay, all right. Little angel, little devil on the shoulder situation.
Yeah.
I think that might work.
I'll tell you right now. No villains, no devils in this house. Next time you meet Team Pantheon, you'd best believe it's going to be on camera.
Right.
I would like the world to see the real you, kid.
Jeez.
The one you want to be.
I want to be a monster.
Well, you can be a monster in the ring. Some of my favorite stories have real nice monsters. It's not the same thing as a devil, is it? He stands up. Come on. Loath as I am to do it, we got to talk a little bit about media literacy and on-camera preparation.
Maybe we could do those like practice tea parties like the princesses do in the movies.
I'll consider it.
Okay,
I'll
think
get
it
the
might
tea
help.
set. And she'll dash to the kitchen.
As you dash to the kitchen, we sort of fade off of this moment. Turn the page to the next day. And back across the city to Moonlight Academy, as the festival setup has been broken down as much as it needs to be. The festival only happens on the weekends when the actual tournament is occurring. So during the week, it's pretty much just a normal school week for you guys. You have your classes, your preparation, anything you want to do. So Team Pantheon, hello,
Hello.
along with Silhouette,
Oh, wow.
you guys, I would like to go through and turn through some pages, flip through, and linger on just the most important moments, things that you want to share, that you do over this week.
BB starts hitting the steroids hard.
She's suddenly
No.
bigger than Hermone.
Yeah.
Amen, sister.
No. I think it's a very quick images of we've talked a lot about her using her concussive blast as like maneuverability things. So I think we see quick images, maybe she doesn't master it here, but of her like rocket jumping essentially. And almost getting up to a platform, but like hitting it with her stomach over and over and over again, or hitting it with her knees and falling forward and maybe getting a bloody nose for a second. But I think she spends a lot of time with Hermone, and like, even if they're not training, just like vibing and feeling each other's energy and trying to do things in tandem, knowing that that will probably be what they have to do within this event. And I think she might steal Pantheon if there's ever a moment where there's a lull in training or Pantheon's by the house. She'll bring up what Kit said. What was the exact phrasing of that, Ben? About
we may, I think the exact thing I said was, we may share the same mother, so I understand your pain, but that does not mean that I approve your actions.
Okay. So I think she'll pull Pantheon at some point and be like, hey, so did Tom and Trish tell you about what happened at when the fox kind of person showed up?
Yeah, I heard about that.
You hear about what she said about like us having the same mom?
I don't know what to do with that. I mean,
Okay. As long as we both don't know what to do with it, like that's
well,
fine.
on the surface, she's a student of legends, and Tara Baker is a crucial figure there,
Yeah.
a revered figure over there, which, by the way, is something we're going to have to talk about later this week as we get a little bit closer to it. But that's a conversation for the whole team. As for sharing the same mother, I don't know. But personally, I wouldn't try to linger on it too much right now.
Yeah, because it didn't feel like oh my god, she's so mother. It felt more like sad, and there's a lot of underlying emotion behind it that I could not decipher and still struggle to decipher now. But I guess we roll with the punches.
I have a question for Ben.
What's up?
Can you remind me, in your announcement bio that came out for the tournament, how much about Kit's like actual history was made public?
Um, she herself didn't say much. I think it was mostly just like a pretty short segment because she hates writing. But it was like, I'm Kit. Steel Soldier's the best. Love Steel Soldier. Love Yankee Doodle.
Big
Enough
step
said.
up.
So pretty much nothing about her past or anything.
None of that. Okay. So
But
second question then. No, sorry, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but because of what her past, like how it went down, it is like if you dig enough and like you can just find out what happened and like her whole shtick.
Hmm.
Can I dig? Do you mean, is that public information or is that private within like the records of the state school?
It happened publicly, but it's been like suppressed. Like it was
I
like
think
So Pantheon would probably know then.
well,
Yeah.
could I do a roll on that? Could I do a cursory search for BB and see if she comes up with anything?
Yeah, I would say also this is Silhouette's area. If you want to utilize Silhouette
Okay.
for this as well.
This is my
Could I get some
space.
help
This
from
is
her?
my
Yeah, you
area.
can get full advantage, or you can
Okay.
have her roll separately.
Gotcha. No, I'll do full advantage because BB wants to do things. BB wants to do things.
Yeah.
So this is intelligence, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
All right. So we only got 2d6 on that. Okay. I got a 6 and a 5, so that's 3 out of 2.
3 out of 2.
Can I re-roll the 5 to see if I crit on the 5, or will I
No, you don't
automatically have to
re-roll
take?
success.
Gotcha. Okay. Then 3 out of 2.
Cool. So 3 out of 2, outstanding success on investigating Kit's life. I think the tastiest thing to do with that would be to put that in Ben's hands to give you one harder to find either piece of information or inference that you could make based on the information, something deeper that would help BB understand you in a more real personal way rather than just the raw information. So I'll let you think on that, Ben, while I give the basic details. So yeah, you do find out that Kit's parents were villains. You find out that Tonitrus and Steel Soldier worked together to bring them down. I think you find out the basic the sort of way that Kit's power works, as much as you can understand it, is that there are fully different, saying different personalities is 100% the wrong way to look at it. Functionally, she actually is 9 different people. She physically changes. And in your mind, having been through what Team Pantheon has been through, this falls under the category of powers that fall beyond the scope of the normal sort of scientific understanding of like powers make scientific sense. This is like Dr. Guest, right? This is not a power that makes sense.
This isn't fucking lasers out of my fingers. This is a fundamentally like ground shaking development of powers within someone.
Yeah. And it's a little bit harder to find like the details of what she specifically did, I would think, but with that level of success you can. Like she was very involved in what was going on, what her parents were doing. So, Ben, do you want to fill in any more specific gaps in that information there from your perspective and then add something deeper, like I said before, deeper that lets BB understand more personally?
Like she was involved in the crimes.
Yeah, Ben, you take it from here. You give everything you want BB to find here that is like the most pertinent
The
information.
good shit.
Yeah.
I think that like the main thing is that BB would find out is that she was the daughter of Dr. Dream and Will-O-the-Wisp. Will-O-the-Wisp was her mom and Dr. Dream was her dad. But the most, like, you had to do a lot of digging, and like even when you like find, because like when they revealed that Kit was their daughter, it was like in a news footage like outside the courthouse when they said that, but like it was like in all like the historical records it was like blacked out and stuff, so you had to like do some data scrubbing to like get that part. But the biggest like thing that you notice is that you don't see any of Kit's life like anything before like 4 months after they were arrested. Like at that point on, she was living with Steel Soldier, and he was essentially like raising her. But any point from that on, nothing. But it
Gotcha.
seems like they're just nothing.
Okay, so I think how the panels lay out on the page is like, I think we start with BB scrolling through her phone looking for this information. She is reading this stuff, her eyes widen, she starts walking through the house. Where would Harriman be in the house?
Probably in the kitchen, cooking
Gotcha.
up some tasty, tasty snacks.
Hell yeah. So I think this will be the passing of the baton. She's walking through the house. We see lifting herself up with the concussive blast, hitting the wall over and over again, spending time with Harriman training, spending time with a few other friends, reading, researching, training herself, staying awake at night. And then finally we get to the kitchen where Harriman is, and BB lays the phone down and is like, you should probably have this information too, if you didn't already. And you don't hear the accent. This is BB kind of shook a little bit. And she pushes the phone over to you. And then it's all you.
I think Harriman reads it, takes it in, and is just like, okay.
Okay.
There's not much reaction, I guess. And you would know it's being you would know Harriman well enough to know that it's just being filed away in the mind space of their brain, because you would know that it's they think it's important context, but it's somewhat irrelevant because you know how much Harriman values current action.
It's not actionable information in this
Yeah.
moment. It's just good ancillary content.
Yeah.
And Ben, for for that outstanding success that BB got, can you give Eric an inference that only BB makes based on this information that is an accurate assessment of an aspect of Kit's true self, something that helps her understand her more personally?
I think that I think that will wait until they meet again, because I thought of something spicy, but it won't fit for this moment. So
Okay,
hold on to your butts, audience. I'm writing this down.
so it'll come back around. Okay.
This is what we call foreshadowing, baby.
So Eric, you said you wanted to use this to pass the baton. Are you good to see what Haramon does throughout this week?
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then the last thing I will say for you, Eric, is just like with Jeremy, when Jeremy wanted to try and learn how to use his fire as a mobility power, because mobility powers are a separate power category, that would need to be a different D12, but it falls into the scope of something you could try to do and train yourself to do to eventually get to that level. So for now, when you do it, you are able to shoot a concussive blast at the ground to propel yourself forward. But when you do it, you have to use a secondary action to make a dexterity or to make an agility saving throw. And if you fail, you will take damage from it, either from the concussive blast. If you get no successes, if you critical fail, then you shoot yourself too high and you take falling damage when you land, and you'll land prone.
Sick.
Oh no.
Sick.
But if you succeed
tight.
on that save, then it'll be fine.
I want the
That'll
high risk,
account
high
for you
reward.
being able to maneuver yourself and land, and not put yourself too high that you'll break your legs when you land.
She literally shoots herself in the foot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had an idea. Asteria, we can talk about this later. And I had an idea for a team move based off that.
So Haramon, what do you do throughout this week?
I think very briefly we see Haramon watch it. Well, actually, would we have the ability to gain access to training footage like of Team Steel Soldier?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But we have the fight, right? Like they're published. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think Haramon would be pouring over the Legends team tournament footage of them, and looking for Yankees' weaknesses to exploit. Should I make a roll for that?
Yeah, you can do that. Mechanically, I don't think there's gonna be like you get an advantage against him or anything, but I may have Kyle tell you something.
Yeah.
Depending
Mechanically,
on how well
he has no weaknesses, but
But emotionally, strategically, that's a full success.
Full success, pretty good, not outstanding. So you're gonna get like the best of the sort of standard set of information.
Yeah.
Right?
This is more flavor text of character building for Haramon.
Weaknesses to exploit. Okay. So I'll give something that is my assessment, and then I'll let Kyle add one thing. I'm gonna say the danger with Yankee Doodle is that if he's flying, he becomes so hard to hit. So he is strong. He's not invulnerable. So if you land hits on him,
They will hurt.
they will hurt. Yeah, it'll be just like fighting anyone else in that regard. The problem is that if he's airborne, he can utilize both his super speed and flight to avoid attacks. Your best bet is probably going to try and ensure that he can't fly.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing that you can do. Other than that, I want Kyle to add something. what's one thing that you would say is a weakness to exploit that you could find from looking at footage?
Mhm. Well, here's the thing. Yankee Doodle, there's no green rock that's going to slow him down. Okay. But you probably recognize that this guy is just such like he's so hung up on like figuring out the right thing and like the good thing to do in any moment that if ever there's like some sort of quandary, it'll seize him up for a minute, and in that moment of like indecision would probably be an advantage to you. So if there's anything that you can do to get him to like overthink a situation.
Mm. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. 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 So I think Caramon relays that to BB. And I think the main yeah, I think the main thing that Haramon would, well, I can't really initiate this though. Even though Haramon wants to talk to Scott, I don't think they would go to him. Because the last time they went to him, it wasn't good. So they're like, okay, from this
Forgot about
moment,
that.
with this moment forward, I'm letting you take charge, and that the timeline is in your control. So that's not anything Haramon's actively doing. I think the thing that Haramon does initiate is taking BB and Helix out on the town because he said he would do that with us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, party.
in that good outfit.
Where
that
do
I
we
got him.
go?
People who have been to a club before. Is there ever a time where there's like a dead time where there's like a least amount of people? Or is
Is
There's
it like right when it opens?
yeah, there's like pre-club hours where you go to a bar and then it slowly makes the transition into being a club. So like probably the very beginning of when they're making that transition into being a club.
Yeah, I think Haramon takes them to a club at that time because they're in their mind, they're like, I've never seen him in this kind of environment, but I also don't want to overwhelm him too quickly. So they're going to try to ease him in to a club environment.
What you find is he is not uncomfortable in a crowd full of strangers.
Mhm.
At first, someone who didn't know him might think that what he was doing was what someone who is uncomfortable would do.
Yeah.
But he's just doing what he would do and what he knows to do. Which is to say, he finds the most advantageous vantage point, probably up on a balcony, in a seat. He leans back, he probably crosses his arms, but he kind of spreads himself out a little bit to look a little more inconspicuous, to look like he's lounging, and you see him just watching the crowd, looking at every person, what they're doing. Anytime somebody looks like they're doing something like interesting or weird, or if like somebody like is drunk and starts making a scene, like you see him like kind of tense up and watch more closely, or like utilize strategies. Like he looks like he's here and he's working, or at
He's
least
the
he's
bouncer.
learning.
Haramon would try their best to. They're very curious just to see if they can push him out of that. They're going to try to get him to actually come on the dance floor with them.
I mean, I don't really know this song.
Doesn't matter. You just gotta let it wash over you and just feel the vibe. And as they say this, they start like taking his wrist lightly and is like gently pulling him.
He stands up, and you see something you have not seen before. You see him, I think, take his coat off, and he puts his arm in front of himself like this and the other one behind, like someone who is about to join like a medieval choreographed dance. And as he steps onto the dance floor, he understands the rhythm and movements, and you know for a fact that he's agile and can move his body with precision, but he moves through the empty spaces in the crowd with 360-degree awareness, and he begins to dance with you like he is from another time that is superimposed over this one. And it feels so specific in a way that you cannot understand. This came from somewhere. You know for a fact this is something that he learned to do. And it doesn't belong here, and he knows that, and he's doing it anyway because that's what he will
knows.
do.
Yeah.
Not just what he knows, it's what he's choosing to do. And it does have that Beauty and the Beast quality, and it's strange that it works. It's strange that he's staying on the beat but still moving with these formal medieval style movements around you.
I think Haramon entertains that for about one song, sort of matches that energy but modernizes the movements a little bit more. And then the next song just turns into an absolute banger and starts grinding on BB.
In the background during the Helix section, BB's in the background flirting with the bartender, in the very uncouth, bad way that she flirts, which is being too honest too quick. When Haramon starts grinding on her, she's into it. She vibes. It's the homie. And then she just might throw Haramon into a what's a fucking country dance? What's like a
line dance?
Yeah, we could do a line dance.
The hoedown throwdown.
I honestly, the only thing that's
Boogie.
appearing in my mind is the hoedown throwdown. So we are doing the hoedown throwdown.
Yes.
Shout out Miley.
I need you to make an insight check.
Okay.
I don't like to force insight checks, but in this moment, I know you're trying to engage with him and watch him.
Yeah.
This is
You're trying to get him to do
hoedown
this?
throwdown.
Does that count? Can I use my perception skill?
He's not rolling against this. You're catching him in a vulnerable moment. Perception? No, it's insight.
That's a 0. Oh no.
0 successes.
Ruh-roh.
0 successes. At the end of this,
I lose myself in the spaghetti dancing, a line dance in a
Yes.
in a nightclub.
the music transitions so quickly, and so do you, from this moment, that you don't catch what he does at the end of this. There's a transition from the conclusion of this dance. There was a conclusion where there wasn't in the music. There must be. And when you make that connection, you look over to where he had been, and you know for a fact that you missed something because he has disappeared in the crowd. And you don't see him again until whenever it is that you stop dancing. And he doesn't seem weird. He seems very relaxed, very normal. He's not really working the crowd anymore, but he is back sitting up at the bar. And he has or not at the bar, back up at the table that you guys had. And I think you find him just like talking to who would he be talking to?
Hot, big titty GF.
Now, I was gonna say that he's talking to a guy, just like like a really friendly, kind of drunk
Big titty BF.
Big titty
guy who's like wearing a cool coat, and you find them like talking about coats and like fashion and like stores where cool coats can be found. And he seems a little bit more natural, but you notice that he looks like a more real version of the first version of him you ever met. The version of him that approached BB all those months ago trying to, now that you know, mask and practice, being social with someone.
I think Haramon comes up the stairs and their cheek is sort of, they're not at the top. They spot him before they get to the top, and their cheek is sort of at the railing, and they sort of clock that. And for a second, they rest their cheek on the railing as they watch him have this conversation with this random dude. And after that, they sort of turn around and go back down. They don't move to interrupt, and they find BB again. And then the night just sort of continues.
Mm-hmm. The rest of the night passes pretty uneventfully and fun. Honestly, he seems, he doesn't seem like anything weird has happened to your knowledge. If anything, he seems like relaxed enough. You accomplished your goal.
Mm-hmm.
You think.
Hopefully.
You think so.
Got to get that boy out of his head sometimes.
On a scale of him, you think you did a good job.
Out of his head and onto the streets.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention throughout this week?
That was a little bit of a longer scene. So there is one more thing, but I think it would take up more time.
Okay.
But so maybe we'll just table that for now. The other thing that we talked about. Yeah.
I will say at some point during this week, Scott leaves you a gift with a note that says, "We'll talk soon, but know that I owe you one. At least one." And it's something that represents your friendship with him. Maybe something useful.
It is a ticket to the First City Zoo for a free pony ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the petting zoo section.
I'm not going to judge what's personal to you. So, yeah. It's pretty good. Okay. So about halfway through this week, things start to get a little bit more serious. The preparation, the training, and Pantheon calls a meeting with the three of you. And as you all sit down, I think she's brought food from somewhere. Maybe pizza. Some midday pizza. You're going over your strategies, and she says, "All right, I think we're good on strategy. I think you understand them as best as you can right now. Going into this, you guys, you've got your media faces down. Your interviews have been stellar. I think you're on the right track in terms of what you're working on, and I think you have a very solid chance of winning. But something we need to discuss is the atmosphere at Legends. Specifically for you, Bailey."
Oh, well, what's going on?
I don't know how much you're already aware of this, but Tara Baker is a revered figure at the Legends Academy. The version of her, I hate saying that, but the woman that you know is not the woman that they know and believe in. To them, she's, again, revered. Not just for her work with the Arbiters, but for being a champion of the student body there, for funding the place, reforming certain aspects. On paper, she's done good that has affected the student body there. And you just accused her of heinous crimes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an unspoken or possibly spoken hostility toward you there. Now, no one will act on it, truly, at least. Not, no one's going to attack you or anything. It's a professional place on camera. But the media is a different story, and I would prepare yourself. I would prepare you, honestly, to address questions about your statement or avoid them gracefully. It's your call. But the fact that the tournament is taking place there this year, that was something that was discussed for this very reason. See, every year, as you know, it's either at Moonlight or Legends, and it alternates every year, and it's their turn. Ultimately, there were some people on our side that thought that it might be maybe a bad idea considering the Tara Baker business. But it was ultimately ruled that the sense of normalcy is more important. We're trusting them and you to be professional.
She sits for a minute, kind of looks at her hands, and says, "No, I knew all that, but hey, everything comes out in the wash, and I don't even know if I really care about winning at this point. Like, I want to win for us. I don't know. It's just whatever happens, happens." And you see this kind of, BB is someone that operates under an immense amount of pressure that she applies to herself. And you see her kind of just let that go. But I'll be, I'll be good in interviews or whatever. I'll always tell them some of my funny jokes.
Oh, I thought you didn't want to kill people.
Damn.
I guess I'm not the only one with jokes here. And she smiles.
And on that smile, we turn the page to your wide eyes looking up at the bullet rail. Not the smaller one that moves just through the city, but the larger actual bullet train that travels like out of the sort of skyline proper and outward toward the countryside, closer to Legends. As you are ready to board the train on this day, this busy day, and maybe even you get on the train in your civilian attire. That makes more sense to me, because if you get on the train dressed as yourselves, or dressed as your hero persona.
You mean they're not sending cars for us? We're taking public transit? The audacity.
It's more discreet and it's way faster.
Fair.
So much work for Haramon because they have to do so much makeup.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys, I think, you have like an area to change that is set up for you when you get there. So that no one, knows your identities. So you guys get on the train, and Silhouette looks very excited. There's something behind it that you've, I think, got a taste of after your last couple conversations with her. Now that you know a bit about what's going on there, it's less of a mystery for sure. but she can't help being excited.
Like a goblin in the dressing room opening a fresh pack of jelly beans and putting them loose in her pockets.
Yeah. I think she's fully just like eating popcorn on the train, like half stress eating, half excitement eating. And it's, I want to say, like a 40-minute ride on this very fast train. As you start to get to sort of the border of the countryside, there's a little bit of farmland, but not like total rural farmland. It's still almost suburban in ways. Have you ever been in a neighborhood where it's like there are very modern sort of big houses spread about, very very suburban style,
Model homes.
but yeah, like model homes, but you turn the corner and there's like, oh, there's like a little ranch here. Okay. Oh, there's another one. There's, what? They have horses here?
Does this route take us past Amberley?
I don't believe so, because Amberley, you go closer to the coast.
Okay.
Yeah. And Amberley is farther out toward the rural side. And you do eventually see you step out of the station and either board the smaller bullet train or take a cab or something, or just like Pantheon just flies you there discreetly if she can, but probably not that. You change, you find a private place to change into your hero outfits, and you step up to the front gates of the Legends Institute. You look up and you see it in gold letters over the front archway. You step through the scanners with your visitor pass. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit, because when you get there, the headmaster, Abel Vanguard, would come out to greet you. And he's wearing this very fine white suit, this very handsome silver fox of a man steps out and greets you, and he keeps the press back. There are people already who are like, they see you approaching and like, Team Pantheon, and he waves them aside. Says, Pantheon, Haramone, Bang Bang, Silhouette, it is so wonderful to finally meet you.
From the moment we step foot in any view of cameras or anything, BB is smiling in a way that you've never seen her smile. It's we're on point. We're on now. Hat comes off, mask comes off, and he goes, "Pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm a big fan of your work and everything you've done here."
Oh my god!
One moment.
We're playing the game, baby.
Yankee's not the only person overcorrecting.
Yeah.
So he does take that in, and he breathes in and out very deeply. These are strange times, but this city owes you a debt of gratitude, and I mean that sincerely.
Well, we just did what we do as heroes, all of us, one and all.
Well, we are honored to have you here and grateful. Feel free to enjoy the festival. However, I would understand if you would prefer discretion. I would be happy to escort you to one of our alternate pathways to circumvent the crowd. We have set up a temporary space for you in one of the dorms. It's very comfortable if you'd prefer to wait there. Otherwise, you are welcome to spend some time here in the festival for an hour. We can assign you an escort if you prefer. I'm sure I can spare someone.
I would love to see the festivities. But an escort would be nice because I will get lost.
Of course, of course. So he gives you guys your sort of visitor passes so that you can step through the scanner, and you're fully just diving in.
I think I tap him on the shoulder and I say, "There's no chance of a face-to-face with Team Steel Soldier before the tournament, is there?"
Oh, well, they're here in the festival somewhere.
All right.
You sniffed out the transition. That was amazing. I was literally about to be like, so where are you, Team Steel Soldier, on this fine morning? As we see Team Pantheon step through the gates into a festival that, frankly, is not that different. It almost seems somewhat coordinated because it's supposed to be similar, right? The campus is very different. I talked about this in the first time that that the audience saw the campus, but it's much more like deep red brick reinforced with metal. It looks like it's designed to evoke something classic, something that evokes like education, you know. It doesn't have that like sleek modern comic book look that Moonlight does. And it's up to you guys whether you find that comforting or off-putting. But it looks a lot more like a regular college, but on a grander scale. Like a college that's almost like a city. But the actual festival, it's the same deal, right? There are walls that block off areas that the public should not be going to. Fewer, because secret identities aren't as much of a problem. It's more just keeping privacy and like, you know, discrete government areas that people shouldn't go to. But otherwise, there are students who are showcasing their abilities in bright, colorful costumes, just like you're used to. There are, in fact, a lot of your friends here today because Moonlight students and teachers were invited here to watch live because this one is a live event. And you can see in the distance, beyond the festivities, people are already starting to line up. Even though seats are assigned, there are people who are like waiting around there for the doors to open in about an hour. This massive dome that is currently closed, so you can't see what's inside it, but it is easily the size of a football field. And as we follow your guys' eyes over to that. We scan over the crowd and we kind of rotate around it to wherever you guys are. So where is Team Steel Soldier?
So I don't know if Kit wants to be here, but Yankee Doodle's got a big thing of pink and blue cotton candy, and he's sort of holding it with one hand, and he's also carrying big crates of like mangoes and bananas and like helping bring them to a stand that like a fruit stand that was just out. And then he's getting taught how to cut them and dice them up for the pretty little fruit cups. Wow, that's something. All right, that's intricate. This is a lifetime worth of craft, and I'm honored that you're sharing it with me.
It evolves into an infomercial. I love this running bit that everything that he does just turns into like a moment TM, you know. So the cameras are immediately on you. The person who's teaching you, it's like when you're watching TV, like at the doctor's office, like waiting for the doctor to come in. It's like just an infomercial. It's like local young charming superhero in training learns to cut vegetables and fruit.
Yeah, I would have never thought to put this red spicy salt on it. That's inspired. Usually you think sweet, you think just more sweetness, and this is something else. I gotta tell you.
Well, Yankee Doodle, you'll see the trick in most cooking is always going to be contrast, right?
Oh, right.
Sometimes you can see it in as simple as the color alone. That's your first clue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was reading up on something. They call it heterogeneity. You want different textures and different flavors within the same dish.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
I stick to my eggs and bacon. Can't go wrong with a classic.
Well, you're not wrong there. Kit, where are you when this is going down?
Uh, I think Kit, like before she's gone out and joined the whole festival festivities, she pulled Steel Soldier into like a separate private room to have a quick conversation with him.
Do you want to do that scene?
Oh, I don't want to ruin Kyle's flow with this this story. Okay.
I
Um,
flowed.
No, I want to know where you guys are.
okay, so she like pulled him into like one of the like what is it called in a college when you're like in a teacher auditorium, one of those places.
A lecture hall?
Lecture hall, yeah. Um, and she says, uh, so Steely, we have something we need to talk about.
Mm.
I noticed how after the seventh tale went a bit too far in the qualifiers, you didn't really bring it up at all. You know, having a moment like that on camera, it's pretty not good.
It's not, no. But it's a part of you, isn't it? That's, I think, what we're missing. I mean, we as in this institution. Moonlight's doing the same thing. Everyone is so focused on the mistakes that we've made that we are trying to show this grand goodness, and it makes us not relatable. It makes heroes in general, no matter what campus you come from, showing that we're human, that some of us don't fully understand how our powers work. Yeah, I saw you make a mistake that stems from one of the 9 reasons why this is harder for you than it is for most of them. They've seen that now, and that's for you to reconcile in your own way, to manage. I'm here to guide you, to help you, but I'm not going to tell you things you already know. You know that was wrong. You know what else I watched you do? I watched you go up to the architect and apologize. Camera saw that too. I saw you engage with her. Yeah, you ran away a little bit afterward, but you stayed longer than I've seen you do before. She was grateful. That's more important. Who you are doesn't have to be a mask of pure good. That's not good enough for a hero anymore. Maybe it never was.
She will she'll visibly like want to push the issue and then have to steel herself before she'll be like, well, that's great for humans, but and then she'll like slam him against the wall and say, but I'm a monster, remember? You fell for that trap once before.
He doesn't fight. He just stands there. And he looks at you with the eyes that he did that day outside the principal's office years ago.
Listen, the ninth tale still slumbers, but she'll wake up one day. And when she does, only you or Yankee can stop her. Just remember that she still exists within me.
I remember. You need to remember that we are building a world where that doesn't have to be true. That it's only me or him. We're a team. We're a grounding influence. But if we're better, we make everyone better. And the team you're about to go up against, whether you like it or not, they saved the city. They believe in the good of this world. They've been out there in it, outside the city, out where things make a lot less sense. I will not believe that they are not capable of being something more to you than an obstacle for you to overcome.
She'll stare at him. She doesn't search his eyes because she knows automatically where it is that she's looking for, and she'll be like, all right then. I think I saw Yankee like doing an infomercial about mangoes or something. You want to get a piece?
Yeah, that sounds good.
She'll grab his hand and lead him over to the stall.
This happens. You go back over to the stall and you guys start eating this mango. I think you guys see this happening. And I think you guys see the tail end of it because the media attention, the cameras immediately shift. You see that Tiffany Wen arrives on scene. You know that Jack Lopez is supposed to be here somewhere. They're going to be doing this part together. But since she's covering the legend side a little bit more, she's sort of out on the field right now, while Jack Lopez is up doing individual interviews like the ones that you guys did during your festival. And we can say that you guys did one at some point because we already had an interview scene before. With Jack Lopez, it's not super important, but there's some point where you check in and you like tell the camera like how you're feeling going into this, and you make a little statement. And you're not asked anything uncomfortable by Jack Lopez. He knows better.
That's our homie.
Because he has a relationship.
Yeah.
That's our friend.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
BB's like, what a beautiful campus. This is just mwah.
Oh my god.
But when the mango infomercial starts dying down and Tiffany Wen in her very smart crimson pantsuit, her long straight black hair, you see her attention is shifted and she snaps and the cameraman turns the camera and you hear the crowd as they begin to push off to the left back toward the entrance, and you start hearing them say, "Shield Maiden! Shield Maiden!"
Oh boy. I was wondering when they'd show up.
As at the moment, you guys are kind of concealed by the crowd. A bigger name has just arrived on scene as Shield Maiden, best known as one of the Arbiters. Very specifically, RGB as the leader, like the actual official leader of the team, she's kind of the co-leader because she is the face. She does a lot of the interviews. She also does a lot of like modeling and charity work. She is the most public facing of all of the Arbiters. And that's saying something because they're all very public facing. And you see a young woman of about 25. She is on the older end of the spectrum of the Arbiters. There are ones who are of an age with BB and Jeremy, who are probably the ones that BB and Jeremy knew better, specifically that BB knew better. And then the older ones who are like graduates of Legends Academy, and she is one of those. And she has freckles, bright green eyes, and long red hair that flows out of an almost medieval style helmet, like a knight's helmet. She has a purple costume that is in the same style of that purple and black that all of the Arbiters wear, but she has a belt that has a gleaming silver sword. Well, actually, it's in a leather sheath, but you see the handle of that sword poking out. And she steps up very gracefully and begins to, sort of wave to people, and she's shaking hands and signing autographs. You can only imagine that the rest of the arbiters are nearby, but she's the one who's out in the crowd right now. Tiffany Wen approaches her, and you hear some of what she's saying, but the crowd goes silent. Silent enough for you to hear from a reasonable distance, because she started asking a serious question. As Tiffany Wen says, "Shield Maiden, I noticed that Tara Baker is not scheduled to appear today. Does that have anything to do with the recent allegations made by her daughter, also known as Bang Bang? Do you have any comment on these allegations?" And you see Shield Maiden keeps it so ridiculously cool. She doesn't crack a centimeter. And she says, "I understand your concerns, Tiffany, but truly, this is not the forum for such debate. All I will say on that matter is that I trust Team Pantheon and the rest of the heroes at Moonlight to do what they think is right. Until there is further evidence, while I do empathize with what Bang Bang has been through, with what her whole team has been through, ultimately, I still see Dr. Baker as exactly the same as I always have, as most of us here do. A mentor, a second mother, a friend, and someone who has done and will continue to do genuine good." At this point, the cameras are scanning. They are looking around. People know that you guys are here. So, BB, I want to know. These cameras are starting to turn, and you're not that far away from this. Do you try to hide to avoid being brought into this?
No, what I was gonna say, this is actually perfect. At the moment she says second mother, BB grabs Haramone and Silhouette and pulls them towards where Team Steel Soldier is, as a way to block out any, as one, wanting to interact with them, and two, a way to block out any possible interview or anything, and have the focus be just on, hey, it's the two teams meeting, if a camera seems to find them.
Oh, very interesting. So your premise is that the two teams meeting is a bigger draw than the idea of you and Shield Maiden having a confrontation about Tara Baker. That's an interesting premise.
It's not even like that. I think hits BB as she's starting to walk over there. It really is just like, I'm not going to listen to this. I want to have an interaction with this team, and then as she's walking over, it's like, yeah, and like, I mean, they're not gonna fucking interrupt and be like, hey, so I don't know. Good newscasting wouldn't be like, let's take away from this moment of these two teams meeting for the first time and hit on some trauma.
So what do you say to Team Steel Soldier as they're stepping out of this infomercial moment?
I think she goes to Yankee Doodle first and is like, hey there, I'm Bang Bang.
Well, howdy, Bang Bang. I'm Carmichael Yankee Doodle Johnson. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. Kit, we've met before very briefly a few days ago.
Right.
Pleasure to see you again.
Yes, as always. How are you guys enjoying the festival?
Well, I'm having a great time. Have you ever tried mango with tahine? Or my personal invention, you take that mango and tahine, you wrap it in cotton candy. Would you like a bite?
I would like nothing more.
Well, here you go.
Munch. Can BB, I think Eric knows the answer to this. Can BB do a read on Yankee Doodle to just see if he really is like the surface niceness? Wow, that is a helicopter that is seemingly flying past my window. God damn.
It's doing an insight check on you.
Exactly. They're after me. Just to see if like the niceness is for real, for real.
Well, because Yankee Doodle is who he is, I'm gonna ask Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Does Eric need to roll this? Is there anything to hide that would make a roll justified?
I would have no deception to roll. Or
Okay.
anything like
Then
that.
BB wasn't even gonna coming into this conversation with any pre-malice towards Yankee Doodle, but is immediately just like, whoa, yeah, this guy slaps. This guy's sick. And is like, I don't know, into it. She takes the tahine cotton candy mango concoction and puts it in her mouth. Is like, so are you like a chef or
Nope, just a hobbyist. I just love to eat.
I wish I was this good at any of my hobbies.
Sure you are.
Paramount silhouette. Yeah. I think the whole team should have some.
Wow, howdy to the rest of the team. I'm Carmichael. This is Kit.
Have you ever heard of mango and tahine? You see that Hermione does not stifle the laugh that comes out of their mouth. And they very casually rest an elbow on the table. They don't put full weight because they don't want to accidentally break it. They take the cup away from you and they reach over. They grab a half a lime. I'm about to blow your mind. And they crunch the lime all over the mango and tahine.
Wow.
And they pop one in their mouth and they hand the cup back to you. They say, Hermione. And this is a question I have for Kyle as well as Yankee. And they go, so do you put anything in your hair to get it to look that good? Or do you just sort of roll out of bed and it just does that?
Well, I sort of find that if I shower the night before bed, that I wake up and it falls in the right place. I know I'm lucky in that regard, but I got to ask you millions of hair questions. I don't have the same texture, but lovely. I love what you've done with it.
Oh,
it's a pleasure to meet you.
After we kick your butt, we can definitely have that conversation.
Absolutely. I'm sure we can.
Kid?
I'm Silhouette. I like jelly beans.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of jelly beans too. Nice to meet you, Silhouette.
You too. Kit, hey, we met.
Yeah.
Sure have.
Everybody's just doing a country thing now.
It's kind of infectious. You know,
when there's two of them.
Yeah, getting it from multiple. Well, you know, with the other one, it's 3 now.
Yeah, if Troubleshooter was here, man,
Caramel kind of.
That would be it.
We'd all be cow people.
That'd be a hoedown, throwdown for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The
cameras are. You see Tiffany when it's like.
Fan over.
What's your willpower score, BB?
3.
3?
No, willpower's 2. Sorry.
Your willpower's 2. Okay, Hermione, yours is
Mine
higher.
is 4.
Okay, yours is 4. Anybody with a willpower of 3 or higher will see Shield Maiden in the background. She watches this with that same expression on her face, but as soon as no one is watching her anymore, there's a little bit of a concern, and you see that she is, like, her eyes are drawn to BB. Just for a moment. But there's only a brief moment where eyes are not on her. And as she's looking at BB, she, like, notices that you notice that.
I throw her a wink. It looks like it's a wink to camera, but it's to her.
And she smiles and nods and turns and, like, walks back into the crowd and continues greeting people.
Yeah, just a very, like, I see you.
Your guys' competition was so impressive. I mean, I'm sure it's no secret that we've probably both been watching each other's games, and like you guys got the stuff.
Well, thank you, and I'm very excited knowing your history and knowing what we saw back there from you. we're excited to give these people a show tonight.
Yeah,
The thing
That'll
with
be
the
fun.
cage, that was awesome.
Mhm.
That was really cool.
that was crazy.
It was a lot of fun too.
Yankee's just the best. He always comes up with the most creative things to do in any situation.
Oh, now, kid, I'd be nothing without my partner.
Hey, don't undersell
Ben,
yourself, Kit. You make a strong first impression.
Thanks. And you see a very forced, cordial smile. You guess that this is probably like the most she's talked to any new person in like a week.
Ben, in this moment, is there any hint of that piece of information that BB was going to get about Kit?
Yeah. It just suddenly clicks. You like remember the moment of when Will-o'-the-Wisp announced that Kit was her daughter, and you just saw that same glint of just pure evil and malice and just joy at just fucking over this person. Um and then you see how she is around Steel Soldier and Yankee, and you just like that same feeling that you get with Harrison is his name, I think.
Hargrove?
Oh, Hargrove.
Hargrove, yeah. That same feeling is just emanating towards Yankee and Steel Soldier.
You have a really solid team, Kit. I mean, your partner and also your leader.
I'm just lucky that I got teamed up with the two best heroes of their generation.
I mean, either lucky or deserved.
We'll see.
I guess we will.
As you say that, you look up and you see up in the interview box with Jack Lopez, there's also like a screen that is like showing those interviews live as they happen to the people at the festival. You see that Steel Soldier and Pantheon are both up there right now being interviewed, and they wrap it up just in time, and they both walk up to you guys with Jack Lopez, who smiles and nods at all of you guys.
Hey, Jack.
Jay.
Soldier goes, Team Pantheon, in the flesh. Good luck to you both. 3, trio, invisible.
She does that. Sometimes she forgets that she's turned invisible when she's really focused on something, and we have to be like poking around the air to remind her to come back.
I think it's getting to be about that time. Hey, gang.
Yeah, it's an honor to meet you, sir. I'm a big fan of your work.
That's very nice of you to say. I'll do my best for sure, but I am at this moment more interested in what you have to offer, because that's been impressive work so far, truly.
Well, thank you. We're going to go out there and have good, clean fun.
Yeah, we're not here to disappoint.
You hear a familiar voice come over the speakers as lights begin to sort of flash, not like aggressively, almost like disco lights in a way, and you see the dome start to light up, and you hear the sound of the doors sliding open, and the crowd begins to move in that way, and the familiar voice that you hear is Prestige.
Yep.
Hello, you wonderful festival attendees. Legends, champions, and civilians, families alike, all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here with my good friend, Mr. Beacon. You hear a laugh, and Beacon goes, just Beacon, Prestige. Oh, well, you say that, but I like Mr. Beacon. And Beacon goes, Prestige and I are here to announce today's match. Team Pantheon versus Team Steel Soldier. Could we please ask everyone to make your way into the stadium and find your seats? And teams, would you please proceed with Jack Lopez and Tiffany Wen to the starting points that are given to you?
Well, good luck out there.
And you as well. I'm excited for the fun. And I turn to the stand, the mango stand, and I'm like, would you mind holding on to these for me? I'll be out in just a bit.
Hey, it's my job.
As we're making our way to where we're going, can I just really quick see if I can spot Alpha Wave in the crowd at any point, actually, really, in this whole time we're at the festival?
Spot who are you trying to spot?
Scott's dad.
Oh,
Or his mom.
make a perception check.
Okay. Okie dokie. That is a 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. You feel pretty confident that you don't see them out here in the festival right now. You
Okay.
might have missed them. And you're not being let into the auditorium yet.
Yeah.
Or not the auditorium, the stadium. You're not being let into the stadium yet. But you figure they're probably in there.
Yeah.
Jack Lopez and Tiffany Wen both bring you up to the front entrance. Almost like to the side. There's like a little staging area to the side of where people are filtering in. And you can see in the nearby screen is projecting your faces as all of you together are shown. And Jack Lopez says, okay, so if you've watched previous tournaments before, then I'm sure you're familiar with how this works. The home team is going to call heads or tails. So Team Steel Soldier, heads or tails?
Tails on account of Kit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to roll a d6. 1 through 3 is heads. 4 through 6 is tails. It's a 5, so it is tails. So you see he flips a coin, and the camera pushes in like an insert shot on the coin. He lands and he flips it, and you see that it has landed on tails. Okay, so tails it is. We will return to this in a moment after the rules have been explained. Prestige, take it away. And you see actually a video feed of Prestige and Beacon, and they begin to explain the actual rules while you guys are all still together. And Prestige says, now I'm sure that there are some of you out there who might have been expecting a straight fight, but to that I say you've probably never seen one of these before. We have designed, and by we I mean those of us at Moonlight and those here at Legends have worked together to create something tailored to the various skill sets that a hero should be prepared to utilize. Beacon says, yes, that is absolutely true. In a moment, we are going to transmit a 3-dimensional, simple version of the map to the devices of our team members who are going to participate here. There are several ways to earn points, and that is the goal of this particular game. Earn as many points as possible. You will each start on different sides of the map. There are 6 challenges all throughout the actual arena, each one designed around a different skill that a hero should have. Strength, dexterity, agility, constitution, intelligence, and willpower. Each of these challenges will yield a hero token that represents 5 points. Another way to earn points is a total team KO. Now, a KO is defined as immobilizing, that is to say, rendering someone unable to attack or defend themselves for 10 seconds. You will not earn points For KOing only one student. The points will only be earned if all of the opposing team members are rendered KO'd at the same time for 10 seconds. Then you will earn a sum of 5 points per head. Prestige chuckles and he goes, "This is our way of balancing out the uneven team distribution. You may have noticed we have a team of 3 and a team of 2, all with varying skill sets, all equally capable of winning. So, while Team Pantheon may have the advantage of one more person on their side, they are worth more points if they're brought down. The math works out as such. If a team manages to accrue 25 points, they will win the game. But a total team KO will immediately end the game. And regardless of who is brought down, the points will determine the winners." Making sense so far? The camera's cut back to you guys as you sort of nod. Beacon then cuts in and says, "Now, it should go without saying, but we must say it anyway. When we define a KO, when we say immobilize, that does not mean needless brutality. It does not mean deliberate breaking of limbs. It does not mean severe injuries. If someone is rendered unconscious, we'll be able to know if they require immediate medical attention and if we need to stop the game via this." And you see Jack Lopez and Tiffany Wen both present to your different teams respectively these watches that you wear that monitor your vital signs. Anything that we deem unnecessary brutality will result in a penalty or possibly disqualification depending on the severity. And Prestige then says, "Though I should mention, in the history of this game, that has never happened, not one time. So, do with that information what you will. That is to say, follow the rules, kiddos. They're there for a reason."
And as he says that, I think we see Hermione has had a duffel bag this whole time. Not important till now. And they pull out a bow. And you guys have never seen Hermione with a bow before. And they pull out a quiver. And they're very... You can tell that they're like rubber-tipped arrows. They're not like real arrows, because, again, not trying to kill you. But then their double-ended spear has been out this whole time because it's large, and it's been without, and it's sharp. And they, after they put the bow on and the quiver on, strapped in, they take out 2 like rubber tips that go over the bladed parts of each side.
That's cool.
Kit will lean forward a little and just hit you with the most bodacious side eye you've ever seen and just say, "Aw, making it less interesting, I see."
I think excessive bleeding is also in these rules, so you know.
I just call that a Tuesday.
Yeah, and we appreciate the care that you're putting into this.
You guys notice that Jack Lopez, he had the mic off for that part, and he gives you this knowing look off camera, and he goes, "Sorry, I was just testing the audio." He turns it back on. And Prestige resumes, and he says, "Now, we are going to transfer over the map now. And I am going to now send in the group chat."
Yes. Let's go.
The game is in real life.
We're
AR
actually gaming.
experience.
We're all gonna log
Whoa.
into Fun Run, the iOS app, and we're gonna play Fun Run.
Now, you all might notice a few surprises. One, that one of the 6 challenges is not listed on the map. You'll just have to figure that one out for yourself. You'll also notice a few other locations that are not challenges per se, but that may have certain, shall we say, loot that may help you throughout the game. Take a moment, look things over, and you do see like basic icons to represent the different challenges, but they don't give a big indication of what they are. They're just labeled like strength, dexterity. You're not going to know what they really are until you see them in real life. But you can see the distribution, and you at home can see the distribution of the challenges and some of the locations. So,
Is this a scenario in which if someone accomplishes a task, that task is then shut off to the other team?
correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
How
you
many-
get those points, and then those points are off the board. And they can't be stolen either. The tokens, it's not like if you get the token from the other person, you get the points. The token just represents that you got the points. So as you kind of get a moment to study the map, and it's projected, even though like the people inside, they can see it, like in the audience, Beacon cuts back in and he says, now, since Team Steel Soldier won the coin flip, you will get to decide whether you want to begin the game on the eastern side or the western side.
Fuck, that's so bad for us. Oh no.
I mean, Yankee, you're pretty strong, and
And,
I can
and
bend like no other. So,
quite agile. Oh, and you're agile as well, or are you dexterous?
I'm mostly agile, but I'm also dexterous.
This is
But
fantastic. Okay,
I'd say east.
I'd say east.
Okay. Pulling it back up so I have the map out.
How were you going to ask something a minute ago?
I was gonna ask how many points each of the events are worth, or each of the abilities are worth.
So, just to reiterate in my regular voice,
Yeah.
the way this is going to work is that there's no time limit. You guys just go out into the field, start on opposite sides. Each of the 6 challenges that are keyed to an ability are worth 5 points. Should you actually like accomplish the challenge and get the token. You can also get 5 points per team member if you bring down the entire other team. So if you go straight into combat, if you KO or render immobile in some way, for you guys, that would be 15 points because there are 3 members of Team Pantheon. For Team Pantheon, it would be worth 10 points because there's only 2 of them, right? So, but if you do that, you get the points and then the game ends. And wherever the point counters are at, that's how it shakes out. So there's a possibility that you can KO the other team and still lose.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other thing is that the way that the math works out, if either team gets to 25 points before anybody is KO'd, the game is over, because if somebody has 25 points, the math is such that the other team couldn't possibly win on either side.
Okay.
The difference, though, that's how we account for the advantage of the extra person on Team Pantheon, because even still, 25 points is still the threshold for winning. But the difference is that if they get to 20 points, if Team Pantheon gets to 20 points, then Steel Soldier can still win by KOing them. Whereas if Steel Soldier team gets to 20 points, Team Pantheon can only tie it up. They
Mhm.
can't win at that point. So that's the one possibility that it's a draw. If you guys get 20 points and then Team Pantheon knocks you out.
Mhm.
Making sense?
Mhm.
But regardless of what happens, it has to be the full team to knock them out, and it ends the game.
What's up with these not labeled ability score ones, like robot, fort, and
The
keep?
not labeled ones are not part of the challenges. They are not worth points. They are places. That's what Prestige was saying, is that there are locations in the arena that if you explore them, he said they may yield loot that can help you,
I see.
like items that can help you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Got it.
that's the me version of the information.
All right.
So you guys have chosen east.
Mhm.
Okay. Team Steel Soldier has chosen the eastern starting point. Miss Wen, could you please escort them to the east waiting area? And of course, Mr. Lopez, if you could escort Team Pantheon to the west.
I'm obsessed with the fact that we're getting escorted by our designated news pundits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kit's gonna, while they're walking away, she's gonna nudge Steel Soldier and be like, "So we can't give the other team points either, can we?"
Give them points?
Give them points.
What do you mean by that?
All of a sudden, she has six tails out and just the most wicked, conniving grin out and says, "This is all an exercise in unity, right? And besides, we can win in the public eye too. Show off that we're all coming together."
Interesting notion. There's no way to give points. But getting points from the audience, you'll find that does have an effect. And while he doesn't mean it mechanically, because he doesn't know he's in a tabletop game, mechanically, that is the final element that I must tell you, not in character. And that is that when you roll an outstanding success, at any point during this, if you roll an outstanding success, you win the crowd over in that moment, and you now give your team access to one full advantage roll to cash in. You can only store one at a time. So if you have one in the bank that you haven't used, you can't just like keep getting, you know what I mean? You have to use it to be able to get another one if you roll another one. If at any point you roll 0 successes, you can get an underdog roll. Same deal, but instead of it going to the entire team, you get one full advantage reroll for yourself to cash in. So you succeed forward for your team and fail forward for yourself.
Cool.
Yes, Captain.
Yes.
I know
Papa.
it's a lot of information, but if we're feeling good, to move on.
I'm feeling good.
As you guys proceed over, or actually right before you guys proceed over, Pantheon and Steel Soldier shake hands. And it seems like they don't know each other that well. they don't have the relationship that he and Tonatrus do, but they're friendly toward one another, and they clearly have a lot of respect for each other. And so it is a very genuine, like, warrior like handshake. And the two of them look honestly so stoked that they're here together. Like, they both share this like moment of excitement.
Aw.
And then they separate off, and Pantheon walks with you guys and Jack Lopez up to the entrance of the waiting room, but then she has to wait outside. Jack turns to Pantheon and goes, "That's as far as you can come, Pantheon. See you on the other side, and good luck to you. As a team leader, of course." She smiles. She goes, "Good luck to everyone. Team, you got it." and then he turns the camera off so that you guys can have a moment with your respective team leaders. Same thing happens on Team Steel Soldier side. He walks you over, and then he asks to sort of be left outside. Is there anything, like the last thing you say to Pantheon before you step inside the waiting room?
Nope. Haramon's like, let's fucking go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think BB just says, "We got this," and then follows Haramon in.
So she flies up and over. Pantheon goes, all right, and then and the camera follows her, and you see this action shot. And then she disappears behind where you can't see into the arena, presumably to go find her seat. Steel Soldier cannot fly, but as you guys go in, if there's any like last statement to him as you step in, he's got a strong silent thing, so he's not going to initiate anything.
Hope to make you proud, sir.
You don't have to try for that one.
She'll
We'll win
just-
anyway, yeah?
Lol.
Kit
Our
will,
best.
Kit will give him a big old hug. And then she'll just walk without saying anything.
I'll join the hug and make it a group hug.
You're part of the group now.
The door opens, and there's like a rush of cool air, and he steps back. And all of you go into your waiting rooms. Inside is a lush, comfortable room. There are couches, there are refreshments and food in here, and there's a screen that is showing a sort of like box in a way. There's like a little sort of mini stage set up, and the camera is just on that. So you, even though the people you're about to see, they are standing in the middle of the stadium, you don't see the stadium because of the way it's set up. So you don't see what's inside. And you see Fortress standing there with Abel Vanguard.
Mommy.
And he says, first of all, I would like to thank Fortress and the people of Moonlight Academy and of the Nexus of Valiance for joining us here today. We all know that this tournament is, of course, competitive, but at the end of the day, it is for unity and to show that this world still turns toward peace, always. And Fortress says, well spoken, and we are honored to be here. Honored and excited. These two teams are some of the most genuinely impressive competitors that I have ever seen. And whoever wins, we all win. I have nothing more to say, except let the games begin. And you see the camera pans up, and he says, Prestige goes, can we get our contestants to the starting lines, please? Prepare your eyeballs for glory. And Beacon goes, of course, a big shout out to our house musician, our honored guest, the Arbiter himself, Tin Man. And you hear the sickest beat you've ever heard as you see up in the box. You see, essentially with like this full DJ setup that is projecting through his Iron Man suit, is Tin Man, one of the Arbiters. He's kind of the middle-aged one. He's like in his early 20s. And
He's 45.
you see that he, no, middle-aged in terms of the age range of the Arbiters.
He's 45, Ian.
No!
Kidding.
And he doesn't speak, but what you see is that he signs, and as he's signing, there are sensors all in his gauntlets that automatically translate the signs that his hands are making and then project in English out of speakers in his suit, which are hooked up through the PA system in the stadium. And he says, everybody have good, clean fun out there.
Wow.
Let's go.
And the music continues. It's so good. You
There-
can't deny it.
There is a moment where Hermon's just kind of like dancing before
Vibing.
the starting gun goes off.
And then the doors open and the light rushes in and you step out and you see this football field sized arena with all of these different areas that you're now aware of. So since you're each on different sides, I can now describe to you the things that you see on your side immediately. And if you want to look at the things that are further away and get like a description of what they are, I'll let you know once we start. But for the time being, Steel Soldier in the middle of the eastern side, you see over to your right is what looks to be a very large barbell with very heavy weights on it. You can tell just by the way it's like sitting. And there is a big metal rack and it's labeled strength there. You figure you're probably supposed to lift that and put it there because you can see behind a sort of like transparent barrier that there is one of those golden hero tokens.
Mhm.
In fact, they look very similar to the ones from the tournament for champion side.
That's just classic gym etiquette. When you're done using the barbell, you rack it back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can see sensors where, like, if you were to put it there, it would trigger it and the barrier would come down so you could get the token. So that's the strength challenge. You look over to your left and you see almost what looks like this weird, like, greenhouse in a way. It's this dome-ish shaped hallway with a transparent, probably something more durable than glass. Maybe it's like bulletproof glass. But inside of it, you can see a series of red lasers, like spy lasers, not like kill you lasers, at least from what you can see. But there is like a sensor plate in front of the entrance to it. And inside of it, on the other end, past where the lasers are, is like a pedestal with a hero token in an energy barrier as well.
Reminds me of training with Steel Soldier.
You can also see the main ring in the dead center. It's not upraised or anything. It's just it's exactly what it looks like on the map. It's an area where if you guys both meet there and just duke it out, like it's central fighting area. You also see the intelligence challenge is kind of in between. It's like dead center on the northern side. Best that either team can tell, it kind of just looks like this weird wall of ocean water that's suspended in place, that's sort of raining down on itself constantly, and it's really reflective. There's stuff inside of it. You can see that there's big holographic letters being projected above it that say intelligence, so you know it's the intelligence challenge, but you'd have to get a closer look at what is in the water. Kind of weird. You also see on the southern side, in between both of you guys, Finder's Fort, which is again, just like it looks on the map, it is a 2-tower stone, like, mini fortress. Not fortress the person, fortress the thing. It looks like you can go inside from either side to go up to the tower. You could also go inside or be like on the bridge in between. Looks like you could get some good cover if you were on that bridge. It's about 20 feet up if you climb up there and like duck behind there. So moving over to the western side with Team Pantheon, to your right, you can see just fully like a pool.
Big old pool of water.
Yeah, it's not like the same ocean watery color that the intelligence challenge is. It's more like pool water, but you're not sure how deep it is, but it's labeled the Constitution challenge, so you figure it might be kind of deep. You do not see the token. So and then
I wonder where it could be.
Yeah. And then up above, you see Keeper's Keep, which kind of looks like the bunker on Endor. It's like this weird trapezoid.
Yeah.
It's like
I see it.
Trapezoid prism. It looks like there might be stuff on the roof of it. And it has like sliding doors that are currently closed on the front. And there's There's like a climbable surface on the side of it that you can climb. Like a ladder is the word that I'm looking for. That's about 15 feet up. And then next to that, the dexterity challenge, which looks to be some kind of like a pillar that has a tablet interface on it with these glowing blue lights that are flashing in a sequence extremely quickly, like blink of an eye. They're like doot 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 doot. They're cycling through a pattern. And that's the dexterity challenge. And you can see at the top of it where the hero token is as well, that needs to be released from an energy barrier that is glowing the same color as those lights. So that is everything that you can immediately see on the board. All there's left to do now is roll initiative.
Yes.
Woo!
Hello.
Does my super speed do anything for initiative?
For initiative, yeah, it does. You like put your yeah, you add your d12 to it.
Cool.
I'm good.
It's only a 12 for me.
12 for BB. Hammer?
15.
15. Did
Yeah.
you roll silhouette?
Yes, 18.
18.
Damn.
Ninetales?
25.
20.
Woo!
And Yankee.
I got 19.
Damn.
Damn.
it.
Oh!
BB's slow as fuck.
One moment while I write them all down in order.
BB, is your highest stat Dex? Is that where your power
so-
comes from?
No. So that was what I was going to throw at Hermone. Maybe we'll do this. I'm going to do this within character right now. As the thing's open. All right. So I'm pretty much just as good at dexterity as I am at constitution, and
Same.
I'm trash at intelligence. So, I would like to do the constitution challenge.
I think we should do Dex and Intelligence because
All right.
silhouette, and they're right next to each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, of course.
And then we
That
can make
sounds
our
good.
way to con.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Initiative is written in order. At the top of the round, when the music stops, the crowd goes silent, and you hear Prestige and Beacon at the same time. 3, 2, 1, begin! There's a bell sound, and you guys are off like a shot, and the game has begun. Nine-tailed Fox, what do you do?
She'll link hands and fingers with Yankee Doodle and call out Soul Resonance. And that is a team attack that we can do. And what that allows her to do is use both our HP pools to buff each other. So how much health do you have, Yankee?
60.
60.
Jesus.
Whoa.
I got 72, so I'm gonna use.
What the fuck is going on at Legends?
We're built different. I'm gonna use 12 hit points from both of us, and I'm gonna give you 2 points into strength. I'm gonna take 2 into agility, and then she'll call out, "You head to strength. I'll head to agility. We'll meet up at intelligence."
You got it.
Okay.
And then she'll take
So if
off.
that's technically a team attack, then that
Yeah.
would use up both of your actions for this round.
Yeah.
And then you can just use your movement to get as far as you can. So you don't have any mobility boosting effects, right? So you can just run about as far as you can run, which is probably like 30-ish feet, or
I got grappling hooks.
you have grappling hook, but I don't think that's going to get you anywhere faster necessarily. I mean, you can use it. Firing the grappling hook is generally going to be an action too, though.
Come on, lateral grappling hook. Just along a flat surface.
But for the time, well, 'cause it's not like a Batman zip line that like
I know,
shoots
I'm
you
being
towards
silly.
something.
But I mean, you could just zzz on the floor, skate with shoes.
I mean, you can just flavor text that that's how you're moving, but you're
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you're just moving like a regular amount for a person.
I'm also really agile and really fast.
Ooh.
That's true. What is your agility score?
Right now it's 8. It's normally, it's normally 6, but
Interesting. Because I was just thinking, like, your movement, what kind of makes sense to me is your normal movement is more or less like your agility score with a 0 on it.
Mhm.
That kind of makes sense to me.
yeah, she's fast.
So you can get pretty far. It's like 150 feet to the main ring, but you're heading toward where did you say?
Agility.
Toward the agility one. So yeah, you can get yourself to a position because half of 150 is what? Like
75.
75? Yeah. So you can essentially get to like the middle of it. So at the beginning of your next turn, you can engage with it.
Word.
Worth.
Next in line was Yankee Doodle, who used your action as part of the team attack or the team
Combo move.
Yeah, combo move. There you go.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't an attack. And you're moving toward where?
So this is going to come as a big surprise to everybody, but Yankee Doodle is going to head straight for the barbell and plant his feet.
With your speed, you can get there like nothing. You're right up to it, and you can get a look at it for sure. Which then brings us down to Silhouette.
All right.
Can I throw something for Silhouette as an idea? I think Hermone and BB are conferring and like getting ready to go. I think go happens and Silhouette takes the fuck off towards intelligence.
Yes, agree. The blades are coming out.
Yeah.
Question. If I wanted to do a check to see if I can do double time to get to intelligence this round, would that count as my action? Would I not be able to do like turn invisible or anything?
To double dash over there,
to
do
do
the skates.
The skates don't add any movement.
But they do make her faster.
But they do make her faster. They're mag, so she's kind of hovering a little bit off the ground.
Mhm.
So she's not incurring any ground base. She's like kind of flying at this point.
This is like the Sonic hoverboard game.
Yeah. And she does have 2
Riders.
skill points. in
Riders.
skate.
Hell yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. I think a person with rocket skates could probably move about twice as fast as a person running, you know?
Yeah.
So she's probably, she's got 4.
She's got 4.
So she's probably moving at a cool 80 right now.
Yeah. She could if she wanted to.
Yeah.
But would I have to do a check to do that?
To just do that? No, because she's
Okay.
wearing her skates.
So she can use her movement to get there.
So 80 feet, so the intelligence puzzle is 150 feet away.
Oh, right. Okay, so then can I do a check to do double time?
Yeah. So I think the most fun way to do that, since we don't really have like static, like this is just a general thing, putting a 0 on the end of your agility.
Yeah.
But overall, like we don't have 3D maps most of the time with like squares and 5-foot cubes. When superheroes are trying to get somewhere, we do the scaled sort of like action economy depends on how good you roll. So what you can do is you can roll an agility check.
Yeah.
On a full success,
I get there.
on a full success, you can get there with your secondary action. On a outstanding success, it's all just movement.
Oh, just movement. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm applying my skating to this. Huh.
This
On a
is for
middling
Cell, right?
success, you successfully get there with your turn.
Gotcha.
And on a failure, you just don't make it there. You're not fast enough.
Ooh.
Double time. That's a 4.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. That is a 4 out of. Oh wait, I didn't roll that extra one. Hold on. Okay, yeah, that's just a full success.
Full success.
Yeah.
So full success is she gets there with a secondary action and still has her action.
Okay, still has her action. What does she see? Like, what is the puzzle?
Okay. So now that she's there, what she sees is there is a metal sort of bar on the ground
Okay.
and there's another one about 6 feet up.
Okay.
Those are where the water is filtering through.
Okay.
It looks like ocean water, or at least it's made to look like ocean water, the color of it and texture of it, but it is hyper reflective and kind of distorting. So Silhouette looks at it and sees a giant wobbly reflection of her own face in this ocean water
Okay.
that's just shimmering in front of her. There are holographic letters in it that seem to be being projected onto it, similar to like the 3D maps that Loney uses.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, "In your countenance, count all of Paragon." That's up at the top, like up above her reflection. Down below are individual projected three-dimensional letters. And the letters say MFCS. So that's what you see. Now, the way that this puzzle works is that you can either try to solve it with your actual player brain,
Okay.
and I will put, let's say, 1 minute on an actual real life timer for you to try and work it out as your own brain, and then use your action accordingly. Or if you don't want to try to like figure it out yourself, you can roll an intelligence check as your action to see if Silhouette can figure it out.
How would I, as my player brain, confirm if I've gotten it right or not? You would just tell me?
If you roll intelligence, it uses your action for Silhouette to try and figure it out. And if you roll good, I will tell you the solution. It'll use the
I
intelligence
see.
stat. And then she'll know the solution, but she doesn't have an action because she
To
used
do
it to
it.
figure it out.
Okay.
If you figure it out in 1 minute with your real brain, you can try something out with your action. And if you're right, you'll have done it on this turn.
With your countenance count.
If you're trying to do it, then I got to put the 1 minute on the timer.
I
Okay,
think that makes
but
the
we
most
all-
sense.
We all know what MFCS stands for, and it's motherfuckers can't skate.
Damn right.
That's I think that's what Silhouette says out loud as she's reading all the letters.
Motherfuckers can't
So do you
skate.
want to do it that way?
Can't skate. Yes.
Okay, so
Because I'm smart. We're smart.
Yeah, you're very smart.
We're smart
Okay.
boys.
you have
You
to
and me.
Silhouette. No one else is there, so Silhouette has to try and do it herself.
And you know what, Ian? Can you put 60 seconds on the clock for me? I'm gonna go pick up the refrigerator and show you that I can be strong in real life.
Okay, 1 minute on the clock, going now.
Okay, with your countenance count, what is it?
With your countenance, count
Paragon.
all of Paragon.
Paragon. This is water. This is the ocean.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the globe flat. This is a map.
Uh-huh.
I think we have to put everything where it goes.
Yeah. And the names attached to the different
Myriad,
continents.
First City, Symphony,
Okay. What's
Is
the
it-
C?
FC, right?
MFCS is what the letters are.
MFC.
MFC.
Those are the available letters to
What's
play
the
with.
What's the name of the vacation island? Does it start with a C?
That's part of First City.
The vacation all the way up there?
Yeah, there's not another continent like
The
that.
Titan Wild isn't called something else. That's one of the
The
continents.
vacation
right? Yeah.
island that is separate from the main continent is
Yeah,
Symphony.
they're-
That's
the-
included in Symphony.
It's included. No, it's included in First City
But it's so far
because
away.
First City has 2 other islands in it.
No. Wait, hold on.
2,
Hold
1.
on. This
That's
is
time.
this is a real life map situation because the map that we drew of First City, there is to the north of Symphony, there is an island that kind of looks like a fried tempura shrimp.
Oh, okay. No, that's way old information.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that island doesn't exist?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Hey,
the-
Asteria, you
that
said
that was like an early draft, and that idea became the First City has the 2 littler islands as like a part of it.
Okay.
That evolved into that. So no, that is not another continent. I'm not
Pangea
saying you're right about the
situation.
continent thing, but I'm answering that question.
Okay.
So the timer is
Pantheon.
Hey, Asteria, you said that the globe is flat. Do you have any opinions about the flat Earth you'd like to say?
I don't know. Ask the puzzle makers of this puzzle game.
so what action does Silhouette take?
I think Silhouette is going to put the different parts of Paragon where they would go on a flat map. It's geographically where they go.
So she's putting the letters of them where they would
It's
go
just
on a map.
It's just MFCS.
Those are the different letters that you can move separately. Yeah.
Then
You can
that's-
move them around
That's
the
all
map.
the letters, right?
Yeah, you can move them around.
Okay.
So Symphony goes in the center, and then First City goes, FC goes slightly below it, and then Myriad goes all the way over where it is.
And as she does that, the water fades away, the holograms dissipate, and the shield opens, and she can grab the token.
Yoink!
You hear
man.
Prestige laugh, and he goes, "We're particularly proud of that one. Countenance, continence, you get it." There's like, "Ah, ha, ha," in the crowd, and people start cheering and applauding. He goes, "Way
People
to go.
love puns.
The first points have been claimed by Team Pantheon."
Yeah,
That's 5 points Pantheon.
Yeah.
Pantheon, baby.
I thought countenance meant face.
It does.
I
The
I did
reflection.
too.
Yeah. In your countenance, it
Oh.
was in her reflection. In your countenance,
all I'm
count all
saying-
the Paragon, but it's
I
countenance.
wouldn't have
didn't-
gotten farther.
You figured it out without even thinking
Same.
of the dumb pun that I like. But
Well,
that's fine.
to be honest, I didn't even I could not remember for the life of me what countenance meant. So I was like, what else is there for me to figure out?
Why are we counting ants?
Yeah, real.
So the intelligence challenge is out of here.
Yeah.
Damn. And there's a secret 6 challenge.
There's
Is
a
that
secret.
correct?
Yeah,
Secret
there is
six
one.
Okay, good.
You were told the 6 abilities,
Yeah. And
but you will notice that one of them is not listed on the map.
would Haramon know that willpower, like, would they be able to put together that willpower is kind of what their power is based on? Would they be able to make that connection?
Yeah, you would, because that's part of this, right?
Yeah.
Is like, what am I good at?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a meta thing where it's like, what's my
They
highest
don't.
stat?
They don't think like literally
No,
willpower,
the
but they're
stats
like, this is
represent-
where's the one that is for me, and they
Yeah.
can't see it.
The stats of this game, I designed them to try and represent actual like abilities that a hero would internalize.
Okay.
So, Haramon being like willpower, that sounds like me. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It is your turn, so
I know you want to do Constitution,
Yeah.
but
Are we splitting up?
I mean, it makes it harder for them to knock us all out.
Yeah, that's true.
But because when he was describing the Dex one, it kind of sounded like one of those arcade games where you have to go bop 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 bop.
Yeah,
bop.
yeah.
And so I think potentially BB could use her shooty powers to hit those buttons. So
That's true.
I think she makes more sense for Dex. But if you really want to do the Constitution one, then that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'll do the shitty one. I just had a cool idea for the water.
I mean,
Um,
it's
it's not that big of a deal. If
BB's
it's-
gonna do
it's-
what BB's gonna do. I could also
sh-
not do a challenge, and I could go to Keeper's Keep.
Let me do the shitty one.
Okay, then Haramon is gonna run towards the Constitution,
okay.
the pool.
So that one is not that far. Like you can get to the edge of the pool.
Yeah.
Within your movement reasonably. And when you run up to it, you do indeed see the holographic letters projecting Constitution above it.
Mhm.
You don't see a token, but you do see this pool, and you peer down into it, and you look down and you gauge. This is like probably about 20 feet deep. And you do see a glint at the bottom of the pool.
Do I see any shadows in it?
No, you don't see shadows. It's not even in a force field. You just have to, it's just that's a deep swim.
Yeah.
So the challenge for Constitution is you have to hold your breath and swim hard as fast as you can
Okay.
to get this token.
We go.
You're just going to try for it.
I think actually Haramon's first gonna flick the water to make sure it's the correct viscosity of water.
It is.
And then Haramon's gonna say, "Fuck it, we ball," but in their head.
Yeah, that's that real one.
Can I use my survival skill point as living in a complex rainforest river situation? I would have had to do a lot of swimming.
Survival cannot be lumped into a swimming skill, no.
Damn it.
Tracking and stuff makes sense, but swimming is swimming is a skill.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to turn on my night vision lenses, and the camera would pick up that Haramon's eyes are now tinted a little bit neon green, just a little bit.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to try my best to go in to this water and succeed.
So each of these challenges, they all have different sort of outcomes depending on the level of success.
Uh-huh.
A middling success for this one, that is to say like half or more of your dice pool, it essentially means that it takes up your whole action, your whole turn, just to get down there. And you've already pretty much used your movement too, so that would make sense.
Yes.
A middling success is you get there without hurting yourself, but you don't like get it and emerge this turn. That would have to happen next turn. A full success, you are able to go down there, grab the token, and emerge from the pool with your full action. You push through and you do it.
Okay.
Yeah. An outstanding success, if you had more movement to do, you would be able to keep moving, but I think you could like fully get like out of the pool.
Okay.
And also outstanding successes don't always have to have something for this, because there's a general benefit to getting an outstanding success, because you get the crowd thing.
Yeah.
If you fail, however, we'll cross that bridge when I'll let you know what happens when you fail, if you fail.
You die instantly.
Can I get any advantage for turning on my night vision or my perception point?
Your
anything?
night vision.
Well, I guess
or
that would be
Water.
down there to
you
grab
know,
it.
yeah, you see it. You can
Never mind.
clearly see it.
Okay.
This is 100% a Constitution challenge. So
Okay.
there's, yeah.
That's I think a middling success. That is a 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 middling success. So your full action, you hold your breath and you pace yourself and you swim down there. You've already like run up, right, to like the max of your movement. So it strains you. You get down there and you grab the token and you know it's starting to loop over. Like other people are going to be doing stuff. So
Yeah.
on your next turn, you'll have to try and swim up and out. And we'll do that thing again, right? We'll roll a check for you to see if you like how much of your action economy it takes to get out of the water.
I fully drown.
Uh,
So that's Haramon's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Down to BB.
all right. So Bibi's gonna. I think this would be a secondary action. She's gonna click her skates, or her spurs together, which then becomes skates, a la Silhouette, and starts to speed over to the dexterity challenge.
Okay. So what is your agility?
3.
Agility is 3. So with your skates on, that would be about 60 feet of movement
Mhm.
ordinarily. So you're gonna have to do the
I'll
thing
double
where you
dash.
roll. Well, you
Yeah.
have to roll for it to
Oh,
see.
okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me an agility check. And based on how well you do, that will determine if it takes your full action to get up there or your secondary action to get to it.
Let's go.
Or if you don't get there at all.
Supersonic. 3 out of 3. 5, 6,
Success.
3.
Full success, you get there with your secondary action.
Sweet.
So you still have an action.
Well,
once you get
I
there.
think my secondary action was clicking the heels together to start
Ooh.
the skates. So I think I'm donezo.
That's a really good catch and good on you for saying so.
Hey,
Yeah,
trying to play
because
fair.
Silhouette is like she's had this from the beginning, so she's
Yeah.
been working on them. So she clicks them with a free action,
Mhm.
but yours is a gadget you have to activate. So you've used your secondary action. Full success means it would have.
Can I
gone
take a
full.
peek at what's in front of me?
Yeah, you
Can I-
can look at
yeah.
that's good. Yeah, you can use your action to just get a good look at it.
Mhm.
That works. So you do indeed see about a 6-foot pillar,
Mhm.
and right at about, I want to say maybe chest height with you, is this wide tablet interface, almost like a TV turned on its side in shape and size. And very much like if you've ever seen that arcade game, I don't remember the name of it, but where the lights are constantly flickering out.
Yeah.
They're like coming on and off, and you have to hit them all really quickly.
Mhm.
That's what you see. It is
Okay.
functionally like there are 6 lights. There are 6 lights.
There are 6 lights.
And you can clearly see, again, very much like a test your strength at an arcade, at the very top is the hero token. Within reach, you can like reach up and grab it, but it's in an energy field, and it's shimmering the same color as the lights, but they're blinking on like light speed fast. So it's a dexterity challenge because you have to, it's not going to hurt you. You can touch the lights, or you can shoot them, however you want to do it. Shooting is not going to give you any special advantages, though.
I do have sharpshooter though, which allows me to do a reroll. So it's better than me just hitting them.
That's fair.
Fair.
But yeah, that's what you gauge. You have to blink these lights out. You have to make contact with them very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your turn.
That's my turn.
You know, you see the challenge.
She looks at the challenge and goes, "Yeah, Harriman made the right call."
So back up to the top with Nine-Tailed Fox.
All right, how do I solve this agility thing?
Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom. Gotta be fast.
Baby.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog.
So you step up to the front of this greenhouse-looking hallway, and you see about like 25 feet length of these crisscrossing spy movie lasers projected out of like laser projectors all along it, framing it like a hallway. The pressure plate is labeled begin.
Okay.
On the ground. On the opposite end, you see the pedestal and you see the energy field, the barrier around the token. Looks to you like you have to spy movie this shit. You have to not touch any of the lasers and make your way to it and grab it.
She'll just briefly limber up and then like do like a quick contortionist bridge, and then she'll sacrifice 6 HP to give another point to agility, and then head on in.
9 agility?
That's so sick. That's such a sick fucking superpower.
So that uses your secondary action to use that power?
Yeah.
Okay. So you step on the pressure plate, and as soon as you do, you see where it says agility in holographic letters above, it turns into a stopwatch timer that is on 6 seconds. 6, 5, 4. So you then rush in, and you are going to make, you guessed it, an agility check to try and not touch any of these lasers.
So this is the most dice that anyone has ever rolled on this show, period.
I mean, I've rolled for Pantheon sometimes.
Fair.
Sorry, I just was very confused.
There's a lot of emotion happening.
Yeah, I was like, where'd that extra dice come from? And it went to where the other dice were. But that's 6 out of 6.
Full success. So on a full success, you describe to me how it looks as Kit dodges through these lasers.
It's like the most acrobatic, like she's on her Catwoman shit. Like she just dips, dives, bridges, and she doesn't just like do it like functionally, she's like performing the shit out of this. She's like, I'm gonna do this and make it look good.
Yes. So, you are able to make your way well within your time limit. As, by the way, I should mention, as soon as you step on the pressure plate, the energy field fizzles out. So it's like you can grab it before it hits 0. And you grab the token, and because you got a full success, you are able to just run out of there with the rest of your movement. So you're not still in there. You grabbed it and you've left this area.
Cool.
So that is your secondary action and your action. You are out of there. You can actually even move, I'm going to say, with your advanced movement, you can still move maybe another 10 feet away from this in whatever direction you want to.
She's heading towards intelligence.
Towards intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay, even though it's already been solved?
There's people there.
There's people there.
There's
Got
people
it.
there.
Okay. So you start booking it upward. And as you do that, you hear Prestige say, "An incredible display of agility from the nine-tailed fox. Absolutely marvelous." And Beacon says, "Yes, that is a specialty of hers. Truly, truly a joy to see all of her training paying off." And the crowd is like applauding and loving it. So agility challenge is off the board. And that is 5 points to Team Steel Soldier.
Woo!
It's 5 and 5, everyone.
Oh, because mine only counts once I actually exit the pool.
You have to not drown first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so embarrassing on live TV. Best boy time.
It is indeed Yankee Doodle's turn.
60
Yeah.
seconds on the clock, Ian. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. Can I use my athletics ability as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And your super strength.
And my super
This
strength.
is kind of like,
Just another
So
day at
that
the
is
gym.
1, 2. These are the tiny dice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the actual score. D12, and then 2 for athletics.
It's like you're
Oh.
rolling nerds.
wait, your
candy.
athletics are rerolls, right?
Holy
Yeah.
crap! Wait, my
Uh,
athletics are rerolls.
Yeah, you don't add die for athletics, you reroll failures.
Okay.
And also, you don't get extra dice. I just give you 1 success.
I'm gonna just completely reroll that then.
Oh no, that
Okay.
looked really good though.
It was like 3 6s, but no, it does not matter. I have belief in these nerds.
Okay.
Okay, so I get 2 successes then, because I had the 2 extra points. Okay, and then I get 2.
So you
Automatically.
get 1 automatic success from you or 2 from you?
2, because I gave him 2 points to strength.
Okay. So you get 2 auto successes there, and
Mhm.
then you also re-roll 2 failures if you have 2 points in athletics.
Sweet. Okay. So that's that. So the D12 is a 12, and then that's 1 6, 2 4s, and then 1 1. I'm gonna re-roll the 1 to a 6.
Teams.
So
Holy
that's
shit.
what I don't. That's
So a 12 counts for 2 just like a 6 does.
12
So
counts for
just
2.
give
So
me
that's
your
1
total
2
out
3
of-
4 5 6 7 8 out of 4, I guess.
Plus the 2?
Or
Yeah,
does the
ex-
superpower dice count as one of the dice?
The
then it'd be
superpower
8
die
out
is
of
one
5.
of them, yeah.
It all
Okay, 8
It
out of
counts
5.
yeah, out of 8 out of
Jesus.
5.
Did Yankee
Okay.
just get 10
So
with the plus 2?
No, that's with the +2.
on an
gotcha,
outstanding
gotcha.
success, you now get 1 roll at full advantage that either you or Kit can use at any point for the rest of this.
Heck yeah.
And
And I rack
on an
it.
outstanding success, you can do this whole thing in 1 action. You already got there too, so you don't even need to like use any movement or anything. So what
Mhm.
does it look like as you deadlift what functionally amounts to, I'm gonna say about 400 pounds?
I'm gonna say
Whoa.
I want to look into a camera and be like, "We ready for a show? This is a lesson to everyone. Gym etiquette: always rack your weights." God, just rack it up.
And that works perfectly for the crowd benefit that you get, right? The crowd just loves that people are laughing, they're cheering, people are up out of their seats throwing popcorn, and there's like little robots that are like sucking it up, like cleaning it up in the crowd. Please refrain from throwing popcorn.
It's
Gym
gross.
bros are crying at home.
Yeah, fully. Amazing. So you rack it up and you feel when you put it down, there's like a pressure. And for a second, it's like, oh, uh-oh. Because it shouldn't dip when you put it, but it only dips enough to release the sensor lock. And the force field opens up and you grab that token and you still fully have your secondary action and movement.
And then I want to use my movement to fly to the robot and investigate.
Okay. So the dormant robot is right there. So with your secondary action to investigate, for a secondary action, investigation would just be perception based, just a basic cursory look at it. So go ahead and roll me a willpower check.
Sure.
For perception.
That's 2 out of 2. So full success.
Okay. So on a 2 out of 2, you notice that it is sort of a BB-8 sized, perfectly round, rolling robot. It has one sensor eye that can pivot around its body, but the light is not on. It's perfectly undamaged. It's in working order. You're not a robot guy or a cybernetics guy, but you can tell that like the thing is off, but it's like not damaged. You see that there's like an access panel in the back where somebody who knows computers could theoretically figure out how to turn this thing on. You also notice that it seems to have like a panel that's ever so slightly open.
Can I open that?
Not on this turn, because that
Okay.
was your action and your secondary action. Yeah. But you can clearly see, because you got a full success, you can definitely see that there's something in there that you could just open it up like a drawer and pull out.
Okay.
On your next turn. Cool.
My
Team Steel Soldier taking the lead. But Haramon is close behind. Can they make the swim?
silhouette turn.
It's Silhouette's turn.
Silhouette's turn. Okay.
But that's what the announcer would. Yeah.
How far would you say it is from intelligence to constitution? Could I get there if I double timed?
If it's like 50,
Because if you take the thing and you go
another
bloop,
50 that way.
we got to do the Pythagorean theorem once again.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I got
That's
this.
150.
Pal came ready.
It's
Okay.
pretty far.
It's pretty far.
So about an inch is 150 feet on my phone. Intelligence to constitution is an inch and a half. So what's half of 150? 75?
Yep.
So that's how
So-
many feet it is?
It's 150 plus 75.
225.
225.
What is the fly speed of the drone?
The fly speed of the drone is
It
like
has to be more. Right?
30, but 60 if all it does is fly.
Oh damn, fucking slow ass bitch. Okay.
It's bulky because there's a lot of shit in it. Yeah.
Because what I want to do is I want Silhouette to get there to Hubba Bubba Whip, so I have an advantage to get out. But I don't. If I pour everything into doing that, can I even get there to do it?
You would need, for that amount of distance to clear, I mean, in one turn with
Yeah.
no super speed and only that, you would need an outstanding success for her to get there and still be able to even do anything. I mean, it's a lot.
What do
It's
you
a big
think,
ask.
Eric? Should I try? Because if
If she can get to me, she might be helped with the Hubba Bubba Whip. Regardless of where I mean, I think she should just go to you
you think
because we don't know
'Cause it's
how
less-
Harriman's gonna roll.
it's less risk to go to you, but it's higher reward to go to me potentially.
Yeah. I think she should go to you.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Okay. Take it back now, y'all.
So that's. And the last reroll. Motherfucker. That's a full success.
Full success.
Wait. Can I add my gadgetry detail? Because this is technically one of my gadgets. Should I have been doing that this whole time?
Yeah, this is.
Have we done that before with Silhouette skates?
They're one of her. They have tech in them.
They are her gadgets.
She built them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to space. Goodbye, everyone. That was a
Asteria is
1 on the 12.
Woof.
So it's full only.
Yeah.
Full only. She pours everything she's got. Full turn, movement, action, secondary action, just to try and get in range of you. And she gets like...
I knew it as I was rolling it. Damn it.
Almost to the pool, but she certainly doesn't have the action economy to help you right now on this turn, because it took everything she had just to... She's like sweating.
So that took secondary action. That took everything.
It took everything. It
That
took
took
everything for her just to
everything.
get...
Fuck. Okay.
I told you needed outstanding.
I
That's-
know.
yeah.
That's just how I repeat myself when I am thinking. Okay, well, in that case.
We got this. It'll be okay. Listen, we're not rolling 6 dice like these tomfools over here, but we're gonna
what the
make it.
fuck?
We have now exhausted the things that we're good at.
Now it's time for violence.
And
Same roll. 2 out of 3.
Ooh.
To swim out?
Yeah.
Okay. So on... Have it right here. I only have getting there written in my notes, so I'm doing the math in my head.
Mm.
On a failure, you would be stuck. I think on a middling success...
Start to drown.
I think on a middling success, you get there using your action and still have a movement. On a full success, you would have done it as a secondary action and still have everything else. On an outstanding success, it would have been only your movement. So I think it uses your action to get out of the pool on a middling success.
All
So
right.
you still have movement and secondary,
Movement and secondary.
but you get the points.
We get the points. Just to reconfirm for the billionth time, is Silhouette here or is she still a little bit away?
Silhouette is like, she got as far as it would have taken for her whip to be in range of you. So I think she's like 15 to 20 feet away from you.
15 to 20 feet away.
Toward the main ring.
Toward the main ring. Because I'm wondering if she should just try to go back to you now. Like if I should tell her to do that.
Well,
Because Kit's coming for you.
not for me.
Well, you're the only one. Well, she could come for
Mayhaps.
us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That would not be smart.
It's. I think Silhouette's already where she is.
Okay, so in that case, are you okay if I tell her to move with me?
Yeah,
Because you'll be on your own then.
that's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna just with a free action as I'm running out of this the pool, I sort of flip my hair behind, and with a free action I just sort of signal to Silhouette and go follow, and I'm gonna go to Finder's Fort and
Okay.
use my secondary action to do a perception check to see what I see.
Yep.
Okay.
It checks out. So how far is that?
That's a 3 out of 4.
It's like a quarter of
Nice.
150. What's a quarter of 150?
Quarter of 150 is like 30.
35.
No, it's 35.
30.
Yeah.
A quarter. So half is 75. So it'd be 32.5.
Damn, you're so smart, Kyle.
Okay.
Shit.
37.
So if you don't roll for it,
Uh-huh.
then your movement is enough to just get up to it and take a look.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead
3
and
out of 4.
3 out of 4. Okay, so
38.5 or 37.5.
you have run right up to
Math is hard.
an
It's
opening.
hard. I'm not smart.
It's a doorway.
Strong. Math is hard.
There's a doorway right there, and you see that inside that doorway there are stairs that lead 20 feet up to the tower
Okay.
that you imagine will probably lead out to like be on top of the tower up top. There's also a door in front of you inside that door that is closed, so you don't know what's behind it, but looking at the keep, it leads inside inside the fort, like underneath where the bridge is between the towers.
Okay.
There's a mid success, right?
3 out of 4. So 75%.
But it categorically it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mid success. Yeah. So yeah, that's the lay of the land then. You can't realistically see any of the like items that are here because there are no items right here.
Okay. Cool beans. That's Saramon's turn.
Cool. Which I believe is down to BB.
BB looks at the targets and then whispers to herself, "Hoe down, throw down," and starts blasting.
Okay.
Let's go.
So with I'm doing the concussive blast obviously because I can do 2 of those in a turn, which I imagine within the context of this challenge will possibly be more than 2. I don't know, however it works.
Using the okay, this is an interesting point that I had not previously thought
Because
of.
there's fundamentally no way for me to accomplish the task if it's as quick as Kit's thing. If I can only literally do 2 shots per turn. I assumed we're just rolling for success.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say is like
Bet.
this would almost be more martial arts than shooting because it's
Which you do have.
you only are capable of doing 2 shots within the time frame that because it's blinking in that like 6-second window, right? So 2 shots, I mean you could do 2 shots and then do it with your hands, but mechanically then still you have to do your hands, right? It wouldn't account for all of it. So it makes more sense to choose one or the other, and shooting kind of doesn't make sense logistically for this.
But I suppose I just would love to use my power. Since this is something that's supposed to fundamentally use our powers, and my power is dex based, I would love for this to apply to my power. I think I have a martial arts skill too, so it's fine. It just,
You do.
because of BB's whole thing, in terms of like having to prove herself within the context of this game, because some of our other powers are applying as just full successes for, or just rolling something for success.
Well, the scale changes, right? Because when you use your power, generally in this game, whenever somebody is like, can I do something that pushes the boundaries of how I've used my power before? That's how you unlock new powers, right? Usually it needs to be a moment of crisis, or you have to roll outstanding to push your power past how you normally would use it. So the scale as it is now is if you roll a middling success, you through trial and error, you figure out the pattern, and as your secondary action, you can grab the token. And on a full success, you memorize it, press it, and grab the token all in one turn, right? If you use your power to do this, because it pushes your power, my compromise is that it will take a full success to essentially accomplish it. There is no like middle success gets you there, but not all the way. Like it's no like middle success does the memorization and getting it with your secondary action. It's full success or nothing.
Okay.
If you use your power.
Am I rolling 2 shots then, or am I rolling like how a shot would normally be rolled is D12, 3D6 to represent the power die and the 3 die. Would I roll this for 2 shots, 2D12, 3?
Yeah, roll it for as if it's 2 shots, and we'll say that it's like do, right? It's almost like if one of these things gets to the full success. I understand that this is harder, and we're being a little nitpicky here, but again, I feel like it's necessary. The balance might be that you kind of have 2 chances in a way to try and succeed.
Okay.
So like 2 normal rolls.
Yeah, 2 normal rolls. You certainly couldn't do it with a concussive blast because that's absolutely one big thing. But we can say that you're like, with 1d12 each, you have 2 chances to get a full success.
Okay. So I should just roll 2 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you normally would.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 shots with 1d12 each.
With the sharpshooter and like
Yeah.
as you would normally.
Yeah. All right, let's hit it, gang. Let's go. Let's fucking go. That's gonna be. That's gonna be 6 out of 4, with an 8, a success on the power die for the first shot.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Do you want me to go again?
Just to see. It won't affect
Yeah,
anything because you did get there, but let's just see what happens.
Let's go. That's a success on the power die and a fail on everything else.
Oh.
But it was a 12 on the power die.
Okay. So, because you rolled an outstanding success, then functionally that still gets you the better result, right? I needed a full success to get the like any result. With outstanding, you get the crowd behind you. Which I don't think you guys had one before, right? So now you guys have one to use between the 3 of you. How does this manifest, this first shot that you take? How do you push yourself and make this one shot count?
How are the lights flashing in a single row? Is it like that arcade game where it's like basically a square of these things?
Yeah, it's so there's 6 of them, and they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're like 2 columns of. Wait, which one is a row and which one is a column? A column goes down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's 2 columns of 3.
Okay, Ian, this is never going to happen to my character again unless it's a point that is a critical moment that changes their power. This is truly just for flavor, but it's the only way that I see this happening. And it's fucking cool. She puts up one hand and does the concussive blast. As the air goes out, she quickly brings up the other hand and does a laser shot. The laser goes through the air and breaks off the concussive force into separate pinions that boom, 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 boom. Like fucking throwing baseballs at a clown machine or whatever those are, milk bottles, just knocks them all down.
Outstanding successes push your powers, but still within what your powers can do. So you're within your rights to explain it that way.
That's fucking dope.
Especially since it's not like a whole huge concussive blast. It's concussive in the sense of you're choosing it to, if it hits someone, it would knock instead of penetrate. So totally cool. That looks really cool. And you are able to do this and still be able to free action grab the token. So you still have your secondary action and your movement.
Okay. So I grab the token. Can I, for my secondary action, do just a perception check on the rest of the field?
Yeah, what?
Well, let me look at the map again.
I'll scale it based on if it's a general perception on the entire thing or if it's more specific. Because if it's more specific,
I'm going into
the
Keeper's
DC will
Keep.
know.
I'm just gonna run over to Keeper's Keep and go inside,
Yay!
and I'll do my perception check
It's
to
right
look
next
around
to it.
to
You
see.
can get there.
Yeah.
So
Perception check real quick just to see what's in there.
Yeah, and as you're rolling, I will just say that you hear Prestige say, "I'm going to be honest, folks, I've never seen her do that before. That's the kind of fine education you can expect over at Moonlight Academy."
oh my god.
Branding. 2 out of 2 for perception. As Prestige says that, BB finds the camera and does a little fun little finger guns.
So 2 out of 2, full success. You get over to Keeper's Keep. As you step up to it, the front doors are on a sensor. So if you step right up to the front doors, you can see what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely notice the ladder on the side that leads straight to the roof on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And on a full success, you can clearly see there is something kind of shimmery and like handheld sized. You can't quite make out what it is, but there's like a glint in the sunlight. Like maybe about the size of an orange sitting up on top of the roof. And as the doors whoosh open, you see inside that there is a chest, like a treasure chest.
Yo.
That is closed but not locked.
Mhm.
But what you notice is that inside this little bunker, you can only step forward a couple of feet, if that, because the entire central core of this bunker is blocked from roof to floor with a force field.
Oh.
And you don't see, at least from a cursory glance, anything, any panels or anything to activate it. What you do notice is that the chest is sitting next to what looks like some sort of hatch that could be opened, almost like a trap door on the floor. So you figure the entrance...
On the floor?
Yeah. So inside the force fielded area next to the chest. So you figure there must be another entrance somewhere in the arena that leads into where this treasure chest is. So those are the two. You see where the two items are in here. One inside.
So
and one on the roof.
There's the potential I could break down the force field, but I could also possibly... Oh, there's something on the roof?
Yeah, the orange-sized shimmery thing that you don't know what it was, that was on the roof.
Oh, okay.
And inside is this treasure chest, but it is completely blocked off by a force field. And inside that force field, you can see that there's a trap door. So you figure there must be somewhere else in the arena that you could go underground and come up here inside that force field.
Got it. Okay, perfect. All right. End of my turn.
Yeah. Okay. So that's...
So functionally, all the points are now off the board, as except for maybe the secret willpower one. Right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. All the points are... Okay. So actually, you'll hear Beacon would say this. Beacon says, there are still 5 points left up for grabs. But aside from that, no one team has reached 25 points. In fact, no one team reached 20 points. So it's going to come down to this last challenge and, well, and/or really, starting to pick up your phrasing, Prestige. Well, I am a terrible influence. Yes, it's going to come down to combat, everyone. More likely than not. But yeah, it is your turn, man.
Who is Kate
I was
going
also
for?
Well, Kid is going after herself because I realized that I leveled up wrong. You know how when you like roll for health after each level up and then you add your constitution? I didn't do that.
So she has more health?
Yeah. She's supposed to have more health. Anyway, I don't know if you'll let me have that. If not, I understand because that was me being dumb. I'm supposed to be a core cast member.
Well, everyone has that, so yeah, you would add your con twice. So
What did you guys roll for health? Jesus Christ.
they rolled good.
4d6. And also just crazy. So, sorry, Yankee, I'm dropping your strength. So you're just back to normal superhuman strength. And she's gunning straight for BB.
Yeah.
Okay. So you used your about 10 feet of movement out of the agility thing. BB's all the way over at dexterity. That's about the same.
Keeper's keep.
That's even farther.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a silhouette trying to cross the map situation. You're going to have to roll for it to even like get over there. Although your agility is boosted right now?
Yeah, I have +3 to my agility. So I'm up to 9. And
So
I will
90.
happily roll.
Okay. So a full success will get you there with one action remaining.
All right. So that is a 7 out of 6.
I'm
Outstanding
gonna
success. You guys already have a full reroll pool, so it doesn't get another crowd thing. But outstanding, you still have your secondary action also. So you functionally you get there, like just booking it with your accelerated boosted speed. BB, you fully see like she's barreling toward you, and you can get fully there and still have your action and secondary.
Cool. You turn around after inspecting that force field and you see 5 tails and just a huge plume of dust, and she leaps and lunges for you. Well, before
Dodge
that,
checks, BB.
before that, I'm gonna use 12 HP and do some quick math. 3, and give +2 to my dex, and take a swipe at you, baby girl.
All right, I'm rolling
Dodge.
agility or yeah.
No.
I'm
you have
also
martial
gonna.
arts, right?
What was that?
You have
Yeah.
martial arts, right?
Mhm.
If these are melee attacks, you can martial arts on dodges.
Okay, good to know.
I thought that
That's something that came up recently that's in the updated.
I'm gonna use my outstanding success rerolls for this. Word. Okay, that's better.
Remember that it's one between the teams. So if you're using it up, you use it up.
Yeah. Sorry, Cal. That is.
I don't roll martial arts with a power die, right?
No.
That's a skill, so that's yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Do you have a
Well, do you have-
specialty?
yeah, is it a
Is
specialty?
it a specialty?
No, it's just a skill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry.
So, one that's 5, and it's also 5 out of 4.
Well, I got the sign of the devil and 6 out of 3. 666, baby.
Ooh.
How does BB? Did you use your martial arts to do it? Because if you use martial arts,
No,
you
I
got
just rolled 3 6s.
So then you just straight dodge it. So how does that?
I'm gonna duck out of the way and let Kit slam into the force field. It's not gonna be elegant. It's gonna be a oh shit roll.
Okay. There's not going to be any damage for that because there was no crit fail.
That's fine.
But Kit will you'll catch yourself toward the force field, for sure.
She will. I think her nails are embedded in the force field on some Miguel O'Hara type bullshit, and she'll just break her fingers across as she turns and says, "Well then, bang bang, let's have some fun." And then she'll call Yankee and be like, "Hey, if you want to get in, I'm shit stomping the Baker kid."
All right, but sounds fun.
Hey, gang. No accent. I'm about to get fucked. Uh, on national television. Click.
Yankee Doodle.
I want to look in the robot.
Okay. So because you spotted it already, you can free action just open it up.
Okay.
And what you see inside the robot is what looks to be some kind of belt. And it's a very techie belt. It has this, it has like the Legends logo on the front of it on the belt buckle, and it looks like you can turn it. And you've seen something like this before. When you guys get items, you'll kind of just know what they are. I'm not going to make you try to like do investigation rolls on them. This is a one-time use shield belt.
Hmm.
So if you put this belt on, which that will take a secondary action to put the belt on.
Okay.
It is a one-time use 3d6 damage reduction.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah, I'll grab the belt,
Mhm.
toss it on.
Okay. So you still have
Uh,
your action.
so I still have my action. I'm gonna use my action to, I'm gonna use my movement to fly over to where Kit and BB are.
Easily done because super speed.
And then it feels bad, but I'm gonna go to like fly in and just try and like slam BB against a wall, like fists forward.
God, leave me alone. What did I ever do to you?
So
You
that,
let yourself get separated from the group. We
Thank
survived.
so that is a grapple check. So you're going to go ahead and add your super strength and athletics to this.
Okay.
Or your
Do I
athletics
dodge?
or rerolls. Yeah. Super
I
strength,
dodge?
power, athletics, rerolls.
Okay, so it's a 9 on the D12, 1 6, 1 5, and then 2 fails. So I'm gonna reroll the 2 fails. For another 5 and another fail. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5.
Okay. BB?
3 out of 3.
3. Okay, so you successfully grapple BB.
Okay.
Was it a full success or an outstanding?
Mine was full.
It was full. Okay, so, and what did you roll on the power die?
A 9.
So success on the power die. Okay, so you successfully grab BB and you have her held. And you are going to do 2d6 damage plus your strength.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So the D6 is 8, and then plus how many tallies I have in strength.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 12 damage.
12 points of damage to BB as you are suddenly just like a flash, just and then you just feel first the kind of sudden nausea of being moved at super speed, and then the like crack of your head against metal.
Huh. Well,
How you doing? Having fun?
well, I'm about to do something to you that you might not like, but you'll just have to wait and see.
It's all in good sport.
God damn.
Damn. I mean, listen. I'm a martyr. That's all I'm saying.
So it's
my shield belt reaction or an action?
the shield belt will just happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What does the shield
You just
belt
have
do?
to decide that you're using it now, but the shield belt is a one-time use 3d6 damage reduction.
Okay.
So on one attack, he can just decide the shield belt activates and take a damage reduction.
Okay. Does I can't really do anything, so it'll happen when it comes to it.
Which brings us to Silhouette.
Real quick, just to get the layout, I'm still in melee range with BB2, right? Because BB.
Only if she got slammed against the outer wall, because the door's open on a sensor. So if, well, no, you said your claws were on the inside, so both of you are on the inside. So I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want Silhouette to go to you?
No,
You think? You,
I can't take them, but neither of us can take them. So it's gonna be
they
them
have to
wasting their
take-
time on me.
exactly, because they need all of us to go down for the,
Yeah,
to get the
BB
points.
can take hits. It doesn't fucking matter. She'll go down.
You-
It truly just makes her. It gives her better light in the eyes of the audience
Yeah.
to get ganged up on and then railed. Like
do you
getting a fucking train run on her. Like sorry.
do you communicate the inferences that you made at Keeper's Keep to us via the?
Yeah. I'm basically in constant. I assume all of us are in constant flow
Yeah.
of information.
Does BB tell us to just keep moving?
Yeah.
Just okay, cool. Okay. Because I have a theory. I have a game
Mhm.
theory. So if I have Silhouette send up the drone to do a scan to then communicate to Haramon what is scanned in the fort, would Haramon get any sort of advantage for an investigation check of sorts, or
So the
or
scan
Silhouette
is
herself?
so the scan is only of the fort.
The scan is of the fort. What is in the fort?
Okay, cool.
My game theory is that the keep and the fort are the what's connected. So I would be looking for
Because you
that.
don't have to, because she doesn't have to send it out because it's going to one specific location. It's
Yeah.
not scanning a wide range.
Mhm.
It is a secondary action command because this is
Okay.
a light command.
Okay.
So her secondary action is to conduct the scan. So you roll that with her intelligence and gadgetry.
Okay. Ah. All right. So that's 5, and then one I have.
If it's outstanding, she can review the results without costing an action.
That's a 7 out of 5.
It's outstanding.
Woo!
So the scan is conducted,
Mhm.
and she is watching the results in real time at the same time as the scan, so she doesn't have to spend an action.
Okay.
So it's kind of a lot to relay. It's more than just so her action. I think is going to have to be. It's not like a free action amount of talking unless she was like "Dee-boo, right?
Mhm.
Which you can say if you want like the 5-word version of what she saw. But if you want the full description, it'll use her action to tell you everything she saw.
Okay, so I'm looking for a secret hatch that could connect to Keeper's Keep, or any items. Can she, in 5 words, tell me that? Would that be something she could communicate in 5 words?
What was the second thing?
An item in here that to discover, or the hatch that connects it to Keeper's Keep, if it does. Because if not, I'll just have her use the action.
If you want her to communicate it in 5 words, I think I can do it. It is a simplified version, and you'll have to interpret it.
Okay, I'll take
You
that.
want her to do it?
I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay. Items on towers, hatch inside.
Items on towers, hatch inside. So it's this part here is like a courtyard, outdoor courtyard situation?
Yeah, so you can, what you gather, because you were at the bottom level, you were looking into the entryway, right? You see stairs that lead up, and you also see a doorway that leads inside the, underneath the bridge part.
Okay.
But you also can see that if you go up to the towers, you can probably climb down and get onto the bridge on top too.
Okay, so what does she have available? She has movement and action.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have her use whatever she needs to use to go to the nearest tower to grab one of the items.
It would be faster for her to skate up the side of it
Yeah. So I'm
because
gonna
she can skate on vertical surfaces.
get the nearest item, which is on the what seems to be the left side currently. So whatever left tower item that is, she's gonna grab it.
Okay, well, first of all though, what's her agility right now?
4.
So 80, it's 20 feet up the tower, and she's right there. Yeah, she can get up there.
Mhm.
Okay, so she can get up there with her movement, and what she sees is a sticky bomb.
Sticky bomb.
Strength or dexterity to throw,
Okay.
and any rerolls that you have on like throwing weapons if you do. It is a gadget, so she would get gadget rerolls.
Cool.
It creates a sticky, foamy, tar-like substance in a 10-foot diameter area that costs a successful strength save to break free from.
Cool.
So she grabs that.
She grabs that. She has enough movement to get back down the tower to the hatch, though. Right? Because she has 80. She has 80 feet.
She was like here.
Oh, okay.
So I think she's done after that.
She's done after that.
She can
Okay.
start back down the tower, but she's
Can
not
I
gonna
use
get to
my
the ground.
action to have the drone fly to where the hatch is?
Have her use her action to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, grabbing it costs nothing.
So I'm gonna have her use her action because it says here command with action.
Yeah.
I'm gonna command the drone to fly and hover over where the hatch is, so Haramon knows exactly where to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's her turn.
And then Haramon's gonna go to the drone and open the hatch.
So you go straight through the door.
Yeah.
Figuring inside means that.
Yeah.
You open the door and you do clearly see right in the center of this foyer that is decorated like a medieval sort of castle on the inside. There's like suits of armor and it's very, very medieval times in here. And there is clearly a hatch, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going down it.
You open it up and there is a slide.
Wow.
So it does not cost your movement to get halfway there because it goes down halfway. So the rest of your movement, how much movement you're like
My agility is 3.
3, so 30. So it only took like 15-ish to get to the hatch. You can try to book it
I
up
will
the rest of the
try
way.
to book it.
Pizza Hut book it program. You haven't used any of your actions yet.
I need a full success to get there.
You need a full success to get there and still do anything. Mid success, you'll get there, but you'll be done with actions anyway.
Can I use the advantage that I have, Eric? That our team has? Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, full success, baby.
Full success, you get there and still have your action. So the slide ends and then the tunnel starts to normalize and you run the rest of the way at a slight incline and find the hatch, open it up, and come up inside the force field wall.
I just wave to everyone, and I see the chest there.
Let's go.
You see the chest
Let's
there.
go.
I open the chest and I see what's inside.
You open the chest. And inside the chest is a med kit that will do 3d6 of healing.
Let's go.
Augie.
You use it as a secondary action. You can use it all at once or spread it out.
So what the fuck is the willpower? And is there a panel on the inside to turn off the force field?
You can look.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's not good. Nothing.
0 successes?
Yeah.
On 0 successes, it takes the rest of your action to look for a panel that you do not find at this moment. So you are behind a force field, unable to reach everyone else who is fighting inside this bunker.
You're gonna be Obi-Wan watching me, Qui-Gon, get
That's
fucking
exactly
murked.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it right now.
Well, it's baby's turn because that's all I got.
All right, we're gonna be super speedy about this. Free action, talk to Silhouette.
If it's
Go
short,
invisible
if
and
it's
hide.
short.
Go invisible and hide is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Because if they can't kill all of us, they can't get the points. And then we're gonna throw it back to when we fought Veritas's homie, whose name I can't remember. I'm gonna say to
Dr.
Yankee.
Fane.
Dr. Fane, hey man, I really did like you, and if you want to be friends, we could train together sometime. But I am gonna fuck up your equilibrium right now. Guns go back. I'm gonna try to rupture his eardrums with the concussive blast.
Okay. So concussive
No
blast.
worries. Ow!
First shot. Nice. Okay, so that's a 12 on the power die, a 6 and a 4 and a 1. So that's 4 out of 4.
Did you roll 2 power die?
I'm doing shot by shot. I can roll another power die right now though.
But a concussive blast, you have
It's
It's
to
both at once. Got it. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if it was 2 shots or not. Let me roll this next one. Oh wait,
It's
no.
2 light
This
attacks or 1 heavy attack. That's how the
That's another success. That's 5 out of 4. 5 out of 5.
Nice.
5
What
out of
do I
5.
roll?
Okay. Dodge. So agility.
Agility?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not currently flying.
Okay.
Your
That's
super
only-
speed probably still applies because
Okay.
that you always use that to dodge.
Can he use his?
Because you have her up against the wall, so you're like ground level.
Yeah.
Can he use like his super strength or athletics because he's grappling her?
Grappling keeps her restrained.
So that would probably only hinder him right now.
Yeah, I only got 2 successes out of 5 die.
Oh
So-
shit! Oh shit!
Okay. So you're definitely gonna take the damage.
Okay.
So BB rolled the damage.
All right.
So were both power dies a success?
Yes.
So that's
So
4.
4
4.
46
plus.
dexterity.
Looks like it's ground time for you, Flyboy. You shouldn't say that in any way that was fun or cool.
What did
that
you
is-
say?
That is 18 points of damage.
Please use the belt.
Damn.
Please.
Okay.
Oh,
Everybody has
yeah, I'll use the
suit-
belt.
suit
I'll use the
damage
belt.
reduction.
Does that still do anything to his eardrums?
So I think you would need outstanding to do an extra effect beyond the damage, but what it should
Okay.
do is force him to have to reevaluate the grapple. So I think because you took the damage, you need to roll a strength saving throw.
Uh-huh. Was it 18 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled the belt and I got a 6 and 5, and so 13 damage, so 5 damage from the concussive blast.
Goes through. Gotcha.
Okay. 4
So go ahead and roll a strength. You can use your athletics for this
Okay.
as well, and your super strength still applies. It's part of the hold.
Okay.
To maintain the hold.
I got an outstanding success on the maintain.
So
Yeah.
you take that damage, but you keep the hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no.
Is that your turn, Beach?
End
Oh.
of my turn. Yeah, pass.
Okay.
Pass to Yankee. Or is it Kit? No, it's Kit.
Kit.
Sorry.
Kit will trace her nails from the wall to BB's arm. Do I just hit since she's grappled?
It's full advantage.
Word.
You got like a weird, horny anime villain energy.
Well, I am the 5th tail, so that's just what you get.
Y'all
I have
aren't
no
talking to me?
context for what that means.
Ooh. Let's see. So that is 7 out of 4.
Jesus.
Damn. Oh, I'm not even gonna roll a dodge because I don't even think I can get there. Let me just. Nah.
I mean, yeah, you still have to roll it because if you get 0 successes, it'll be worse. So I have
4,
to-
2, 1. I got 1 success.
So you're good. Okay. So it's just damage.
All right. 2d6,
Oh,
right?
Me?
Oh,
What?
No, I was asking you. It's 2d6 damage, right?
Did you?
On a
roll
success, yeah.
All right,
on
cool.
power die?
On power die, yeah.
Yeah, I succeeded on power die. I got a 10. Real quick, I dropped down to 38 right now. And I'm back to 48. You take 10 points of damage, good sir.
BB's down in the 20s.
Remember to do your suit damage reductions.
How much is the damage reduction?
1?
BB's
It's a D6 for Haramon,
Yeah.
and it's 1 for everyone else.
BB's still down.
So
in the
all of
20s.
you, including Team Steel Soldier, have a 1-point damage reduction. So subtract 1 from any damage you ever take.
Gotcha.
And Ninetail Fox will say, you know, you can just surrender. And we won't have to keep beating the shit out of you.
Why would I do that when my team's gonna beat your ass?
Fair enough. Yankee, have fun.
All right. I want to shake off the tinnitus that I now have, and I want to look at BB and say, "You down to give him a show?"
I am if you are.
All right. And I yank her into the air as high as I can go, just holding her.
Dude, this is
You
so
have her
sick.
grappled. You
Rocket
can just
into
do
the
that.
sky. That's I think that's all I want to do right now is just rocket up there
Ooh, fuck.
and just literally as I'll use like my action and my secondary to go as high into the air as I can.
Oh my god.
So you're using everything you've got to just
Mhm.
go all the way. And there's no roof. You can go
Yeah.
theoretically as high as you can go.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll an agility check
Okay.
with your flight power.
Okay.
Can I try to
And let's
grapple
just
break?
see. Let's just see what happens. Trying to break the grapple happens on your turn.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I got a 5, a 4, 2 6s, and a 9 on the D12.
So
That's
total
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 5.
Oh my god.
7 out of 5.
Yo.
Outstanding success. Make note that you guys have once again have the crowd's favor as you do something absolutely insane. Your basic agility is what? What
It's
is what
4.
is it? 4. So flying with super speed 80 with an outstanding success, I'm gonna say you can get I think maybe even subconsciously think about the full length of this entire arena and that 150 foot diameter, and you're just like, we're adding a third dimension, and you go 150 and then push it and go 160 feet in the air, and BB, that vertigo of like your toes start to tingle looking down. You are exceptionally high up
Yeah.
right now. And as you're looking down at that crowd, you don't even hear the gasp that everyone else hears.
Just
There's
two
a roof
cowpokes
on
in the
this
sky.
fort too. So Kyle, you like Yankee would have had to like torpedo out the door and then up too.
Mhm.
So nobody else inside the fort. Haramon, you just see him go out, and then you hear the whooshing, and you distantly hear before the doors whoosh closed again. There's like, and then the doors close, and you hear nothing, and you do not know what's happening out there. Stuck between this force field and your friends. Silhouette somewhere else, waiting for her turn to go invisible and figure out something she can do. As the points stand, it all comes down to combat, although there is still one last increment of 5 points somewhere on this board, if someone could only find it. BB, one thing's for sure, at least you have a vantage point. And that is where we are going to pick up next time for part 2 of the team tournament. Team Pantheon versus Team Steel Soldier. You guys, this is crazy. It's everything I hoped for.
Yeah.
Fuck. Wait, I think I figured out what the willpower thing is. God, we need an after show now. Okay.
Kyle, we got you for one last rodeo,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
man.
Absolutely.
And I could not be happier.
Yes.
I honestly don't know how this is going to turn out. It's anyone's game still.
I'm so
Ooh.
pumped.
Fuck. This is like the fastest my heart has ever beat running this show, because usually I know more or less what's gonna happen. But
But
this
now
is like,
I'm in
I
actual danger.
the only die that I rolled this entire session was for the coin flip.
Mm.
So I'm just watching what
Hell
you guys
yeah.
are doing. This is crazy. I'm having a great time. You guys,
It's great.
stay stressed out, everybody. And until next time,
Bye.
of course, keep it super. Bye.